Are we live? I need to get the video ready. I actually didn't do that. That was dumb. Originally, I was planning on continuing to cover the Chud Logic and Nick Diorio drama, but
Welcome, I'm Nicandros.
I am not watching through nearly 7 hours of a coverage of a 1-hour video. Because from what I remember from watching it, there is a lot of stuff in there that is not relevant in the slightest. It's just a lot of talking with and to chat and throwing insults about. Which is fine, but I'm not here for that. I want a more condensed version. So if Nicandros doesn't have that video, or not Nicandros, if DK doesn't have that video out, probably not gonna. I'm gonna look for timestamps to really go through it and cover it. Because there's a nugget of gold in there that I know is there, which is the Tea Party 2.0 chat that Chud shows. But otherwise, I'm not sure that opinions really changed all that much from the Nick Diorio video. So today, instead, we're going to be covering... I pulled the wrong thing. Thank you. Exposing NuxTaku's EPI Empire Part 1 by Nicandros. So, y'all might remember Nicandros. He's kind of popping off in the community as a whole for doing very good takedowns of people. But in particular, Mutahar and NuxTaku has been his white whale for a little bit. And I'm gonna get Mugenics up. I might switch to EU5. But mostly so people know that I'm like active in here. They can see something moving.
Mugenics.
There we go. All right, let's start. Let me get that GIF off the screen. Let's start the video. So, NuxTaku is I guess he's a streamer now? He used to make tons of videos with like hentai bait thumbnails and would invite other people onto his I'm sure Nicandros is going to give him a introduction.
This is Takedown, a guy who used to follow 900 hentai accounts on Twitter, when likes were still public.
Oh wait, you know what? Actually, before we do this, let me double check that everything's... Alright, cool. We're good. We're golden.
People found out that Takedown had liked an animation depicting a Genshin Impact character called Venti getting their back door blown wide open by a BB Hilichurl C.
Jesus.
For context, Venti is an effeminate male character with the body of a 15-year-old boy. So Takedown has a history of jerking it to gay porn involving 15-year-old boys. This is more speculative, but photograph...
Wait, did Nicandros do a video on Takedown? He hasn't, but I do wonder if he will.
Evidence suggests that Takedown lives by the slogan, "He who beats it, eats it." In case you don't know what that means,
Jesus.
Now you might be disgusted by this, but given Takedown's physiology, that's...
I'm surprised that nobody's brought up that that's actually exactly what Chris Chan does. Like he calls it recycling.
It's actually a very impressive feat.
Is that all?
Me when I show her my penis. I'm 6'8". I don't know why I would lie about that. My penis isn't that small where I feel the need to lie about my height. But I'm 6'8". I'm 6'8". Yeah, I'm 6'8". Are you 6'8"? I'm 6'8". 6'7". I'm 6'6". I'm 6'7". I'm 6'7". 6'6" men BMI.
Now, for reference, I'm 6'7". I've sometimes claimed to be 200 and sometimes 201 centimeters, but I've never claimed to be 2 whole inches taller. You might say that lying
So Tectone's lying about his height.
about 2 inches is not a big deal, but to
Oh, it's a phallic joke.
some people, that's all they've got.
Thankfully, I have a very small cock.
Unfortunate.
Tectone was recently served a 10-year protective order to stay at least 200 yards away from his ex-girlfriend Pinkachu for sexually assaulting and stalking her. He's also been forced to give up all of his guns. Before this all came out, he also had some really deep thoughts.
Oh yeah, I didn't cover that one at all. That was one of the things that I was super interested in because I did go on like a few videos about Tectone, or a few streams about Tectone. Because Techie's just... It's a lot of transcript reading. But Tectone admitted to being schizophrenic and then tried to hide it afterwards. And Tectone isn't allowed to own guns. I don't know if that coverage lets him rent guns, but he's also, I think, not allowed within like 500 yards or something of Pinkachu.
The more you
crazy.
are aware of what's going on in the world, the more that you are aware of these people that are lying, the more that these people will try to discredit the people telling the truth. I mean, I want you to look at NuxTaku for an example.
Now, I found out about NuxTaku around the time of his Shadman controversy, and because of some drama between Mutaha and someone called Shadlogic. It's a complicated story.
NuxTaku got his entire career temporarily destroyed, which he bounced back from because he's one of the GOATs. God bless you, Nux.
Yes, the post-Nux Clarity incident.
So this video that was uploaded with, again, NuxTaku as Jeffrey Epstein and me as, I assume, Ghislaine Maxwell over here.
Since then, NuxTaku has re-established himself as one of many populistic right-wing commentators, such as Tectone himself, who tried to orbit Asmongold.
Is really like, I mean, this part right here, right? And then there's this. And then there's a little bit of that, too.
I was apparently recently hired as Asmongold's thumbnail editor.
Why wasn't Asmongold nominated at the Streamer Awards?
Oh god.
And it's me holding up a fucking thing of I'm white, you're black, and I'm pointing a gun at somebody?
Like, the joke is that he's, like, ironically racist, isn't it? So it's funny that he's saying, I don't know.
Damn, bro, like, that's what it was.
It is a fucking hilarious thumbnail.
This is a top tier thumbnail? I think it is. Honestly, like, we should have just used this one. Oh my god. Hire this guy? Yeah. Yeah, this is great. Thumbnail editor. This is great. Yeah, why not?
My response was not the most charismatic one.
Bro just dropped
He
the
never
biggest
actually
ball.
intended to hire me. That was merely a stunt he did for his livestream. Given his recent defending of Tectone, it was probably for the best. As a Forbes magazine featured commentator, I can't be associating with people like this. However, this video isn't about Asmongold or Tectone. It's about the rumors circulating NuxTaku.
The amount of misinformation put out on this guy is insane. I mean, dude, I get told that Nux is a pedophile daily. And I'm like, brother, what the fuck are you talking about? Nux has always been good to me, and I'm a guy who's always gonna have the back of my friends. However, I will also be the first guy to hold my friends accountable.
We'll see about that. But why would anyone say?
I mean, that's just, like, never been true for Tectone. That's something that I have found to be very strange, is when people say, I hold my friends accountable, that usually means I'm no longer friends with you. And that's like the closest they'll ever do.
But NuxTaku l***s after children. I have my own criticisms of the guy, but he's a very religious man.
We gotta stand up and fight for God. We were living in a world
God.
of like unbelievable hedonism that just kept ramping up higher and higher and higher, you know? Higher and higher, more and more hedonism. And
He is complaining about hedonism? What the fuck? I missed that. How the hell does he complain about hedonism?
Secularism, and it completely took over, and
Jesus.
this is an unbelievable conversation that's being had right now.
He speaks out against hedonism and degeneracy.
It's not surprising that people that are based purely on hedonism, that they think you get to fuck everything that moves, they think that sex should be publicized and taught to little babies and children, teaching them to change their genders and shit like that.
He's against sex being taught to young children and little babies. He hasn't always been open about his religious beliefs, but he has a long history of criticizing the Twitch platform for making adult content available to minors.
Twitch can't decide whether they want to be a 13 plus gaming website or an 18 plus porn website. Twitch wants to rake in all that advertiser bucks for being a 13 plus gaming website. They want to be on every single freaking smart television in America because that's how they get so many of their little young impressionable viewers. They are trying to be a 13 plus gaming website as well as a porn site at the same exact fucking time.
Do they even try to be 18 plus? Or 13 plus? I wouldn't even agree with that. I think you technically have to be 13 plus to make an account, but I think you can just watch without an account.
Recently, you had the implied nudity meta on Twitch, where they allowed artistic nudity, which is, again, still mind-blowing to me that they even thought this was a good idea on a 13-plus gaming website, by the way.
Making adult content available to children is totally inappropriate, and NuxTaku has known this for a while.
Hentai ain't for kids under 18, let alone under 13.
Some insist that it is solely the parents' responsibility to stop their children from seeing that stuff. End of story. I think that's a very dumb perspective, so I'm going to back up NuxTaku on this one. Parents do have the primary responsibility to protect their children, but that responsibility isn't on them alone. If you're publishing content on a 13-plus website, the creators, the parents, and the platform have a shared responsibility to protect the children using that site from being exposed to harmful content.
Yeah.
In the case of Twitch, the creators are knowingly streaming inappropriate content, and Twitch isn't cracking down on it. As NuxTaku clearly understands, it is supposed to be a 13-plus platform. If you're allowing or uploading adult content onto that platform, you're clearly doing something wrong and should be held responsible if kids come across that content. Parents can easily block actual adult websites, and some even teach you how to do it. But when adult content is hidden on a 13-plus website, the parents might not even suspect it to be there. Take, for example, Mutaha's aunt.
Here's the fucking wildest thing about her, okay? So she has every fucking parental filter. If you walk into her house, it's like fucking North Korea. However, she hasn't done anything for YouTube. She hasn't looked at parental controls. So in her mind, she's like, I'm a good parent. I'm making sure they don't watch porn. And then their kids are watching like Andrew Tate and shit. So she's blocked this one possibly dangerous avenue of like, you know, psych infiltrating shit, but she hasn't locked the other one out.
Instead of telling his aunt to set up parental controls on YouTube, Mutaha decided to shit-talk her parenting on his massive podcast. Very normal behavior. So when adult content is on an adult website, it's easily blocked. When it's on Twitch or YouTube, it can go unnoticed and in the worst cases, subvert those parental controls.
Yeah, that happens pretty often. I think most people over the age of 20 at this point have had some kind of experience with getting around parental controls. But taking advantage of that as a creator, that's pretty fucked up.
That's why it's important for creators on these platforms to keep in mind that their content is going to be available to and be seen by children. As an example, you shouldn't have a hentai reviewer on your podcast and then shout them out by pitching their content as a method to circumvent parental controls.
Ladies and gentlemen, please check out our friend Hartweigen, friend of the show, absolutely amazing creator. If you're into hentai and you want to...
Jesus Christ. How was this not a community guideline strike?
And you got parental filters all over your web browser, this is a channel for you because YouTube is not blocked by parental filters, so wink wink on that one.
Before you run off calling Mutaha some early porn introduction mogul, this is just a single, irresponsible one-off comment from years ago. It was a dumb thing to say, but there is no broad pattern of Mutaha engaging in this behavior. To return to Nux's critique of Twitch, another problem with adult content being on a 13+ website is its potential to funnel children to adult websites and services.
Every single freaking ASMR streamer on Twitch is linking their OnlyFans because ultimately Twitch is a massive funnel to that stuff, and Twitch knows that. Most of Twitch these days is a literal funnel to OnlyFans. Remember, this is a 13+ gaming website where 90% of just chatting streams are boobs, funneling people to the OnlyFans of the streamers, because it's not like there's any discoverability on OnlyFans. And the recommended page and every thumbnail on the just chatting category would be banned on YouTube. Bro, do you see what's going on your website, bro? This shit would be banned on YouTube immediately.
I'm not too sure about that last bit, but if a creator's content is directing children to adult websites, making it more available and accessible to them, they are more likely to not only seek out that content, but also far more extreme content than they otherwise would have. NuxTaku, on the other hand, has been criticizing Twitch for allowing this content since the creation of the hot tubs category.
The new Twitch meta, ladies and gentlemen, she doesn't need to see it for in her browser history. If you look up PONR, her stream is PONR, bruh.
It's just so noisy.
This is Amaranth? I mean, it definitely skirted the lines. I disagree that she should have... Yeah? Bring your string here. Bring your string here. That was so loud. It's gotten so loud. And that was the problem at the time. But it's like... One of the things I find hard about talking about Nick Andros videos with is that he's just saying stuff that's so easy to draw a connection to something bad. So it's like... Yeah, it's just like immediately off the bat, you're like, oh, that's hypocritical as fuck, dude. That's insane. Why? How can he possibly say that? That's the stream. So yeah, it's like totally. It's bad that there's like these half-nude women on stream who are just like they're in pools or hot tubs or whatever, and like they know why, like how they're making money. And I would say it's almost as bad, if not a little worse, than what NuxTaku's doing. Although, in their fairness, Twitch is a much smaller platform than YouTube is. I do wonder what the lifetime views of Amaranth and, who's the one? Forget her name. Oh, fuck. Any of them, really. Their views and age demographics compared to NuxTaku's. Because with them, they're also advertising an OnlyFans. But to that one, you really do have to be 18+, and that does require an ID, I think. Whereas NuxTaku, you don't. You pay like $2 and you're in an NSFW Discord.
Noisy.
Bruh, it's unbelievable that this content is allowed.
In February 2021, he released a whole song about it.
I made a
song?
music video parody of Billie Eilish's Bad Guy. When the Twitch hot tub meta was going on, all the top streamers were female streamers in hot tubs wearing nothing. And I made a music video parody, Twitch is hentai.
Twitch is hentai.
Oh my god.
Giving teens bloody no sleep.
That is the worst. Jew the Kid.
Damn, a great message and a banger tune. There is just one big problem I have with Nux's critique here. He left out the most dangerous element of this kind of content. Any child can see bikini ladies on the beach or at the pool, but they're not going to see bikini ladies doing erotic dances while surrounded by adult strangers who are touching themselves while chatting with them. They are also not going to receive private messages or invitations to join a private group chat where a much older person showers them with attention and makes them feel special. Creators don't just put out content, they have a community, whether it's in their comments or on other platforms. If the creator's content is explicit in nature, then so will their community. If children are allowed into these spaces, the creator is facilitating a space where adults and minors are talking about explicit matters with each other. Even if there are no predators in those spaces, if minors are allowed access, they are still being normalized to the idea that it's okay for them to be talking about these things with random adults, making them much more vulnerable. NuxTaku has actually made videos in the past catfishing predators on Discord, but his activism doesn't end there. In 2021, he tried to trick Shadman, the infamous lolicon artist, into a confrontation to grill them for drawing Lolly Beast comics. Wanna collab? Lamau, no, but your heart's in the right place. Wait, why would Shadman say that?
Why would he say that?
Anyway, these statements and instances where NuxTaku actually mocked messages he received from Shadman have been misconstrued by bad faith actors to claim that NuxTaku had some connection with Shadman or a desire to work with him. I mean, look at the timeline. We're supposed to believe that 3 days after catfishing predators, NuxTaku was trying to get on Shadman's good side. It is such easily debunkable nonsense.
Can I hear that again? Before I clarify.
Some connection with
also, Beckett.
Shadman or a desire to work with him. I mean, look at the timeline. We're supposed to believe that 3 days after catfishing predators, NuxTaku was trying to get on Shadman's good side. It is such easily debunkable nonsense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's this weird thing in like these I don't know, like older people who were vaguely in the artist community in like the mid 2010s, where for some reason Shadman's just totally fine. I don't understand it. I really don't. And it reaches tons of people. It reached fucking iDubbbz and Anissa. Somehow Keemstar was cleared of it. Keemstar steered clear of that guy until that guy like went after Keemstar. This is weird delusional time period. So if you didn't talk to him after 2018, you're mostly clear. In the zeitgeist's mind, you know, nobody really cares that Psychic Pebbles of Smiling Friends was like roommates and hung out with Shadman. And had no problems with him at the time, and he was on the podcast. But it seems like after that point, that was like the cutoff is like 2018 to 2020. Like if you were still friends with him after he went to jail, you were just like, fuck you. That's like the general hard internet cutoff. But of course there is like, hey, you never denounced this guy you seems to have been friends with. Like I think Anissa tried to get like a tattoo art done from him and something like that.
This whole controversy was just an offshoot of the early Mr. Beast drama, when
He's
Ava
super
Chris Tyson's
weird.
fandom of Shadman
Interactions
was
with him is
exposed.
super weird.
NuxTaku was among the people calling her out on it, but also for running a Discord server where NSFW content was available to minors. Despite his consistent, long-term opposition to children being exposed to adult content, and criticism of multiple creators who have blurred the line between adults and children, NuxTaku continues to be smeared as some kind of pedophile because of his old videos.
My videos were showing people weird shit that came out of Japan to get funny reactions. And I, to this day, do not think that they were harmful videos. I don't.
It really isn't necessary, but let's take a look at one of those examples. If we go to May of 2021, a couple months after releasing the song about Twitch, and a few months before the Shadman collab request, he released this video. It's about NuxTaku reviewing the old comics made by the author of the Nagatoro manga. It's a romantic comedy about the titular Nagatoro, a high school junior. I know a little trick for looking up the old thumbnails of videos on the Internet Archive, and the thumbnail of this video used to look like this. Nagatoro taking off her panties. This isn't the second version. This is the third version. Here is the second version. Nagatoro completely naked, and there's some kind of a chimpanzee behind her.
But she's sitting here in the forest, and all of a sudden, Monkey comes out and starts.
That's a lot of monkey hands.
Jesus.
God damn it.
And then they proceed to. Okay, anyway. She ends up having an epiphany that in order to survive, she must drink fluids. So she proceeds to drink
yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. That's
Bro,
why she's
how is this? I don't understand how this was even allowed in the first place. This is absolutely demented. Oh fuck! You got rid of the thing that made him insane. Okay.
Like, you go as much as you want because
You can dish out there. Okay.
Yeah, she needs to drink it to survive. This is survival instincts.
Lord.
They were in fact not in the forest. She was in fact with the monkeys in a zoo in front of a whole bunch of people. Crowd of people? No, an audience? Is this a zoo? They saw all of it? The mating act? This is so cursed. This is the worst image in the history of...
I mean, yeah, it's supposed to be bad, but like you can't. There is no way you should even reference this on YouTube. That's deranged. Far less be like, oh my god, it's so kooky, guys. It's so crazy. But you should be like, I don't know. I think like the one acceptable thing would be like the dark history of Nagatoro, the creator's fucking history. So weird.
Why would the monkey bring it up? That's so weird.
So she pushes the shock collar that she happens to be wearing.
Oh, they put her on a shock. What the?
Wait, this is post Hassan shot collar? This is last year? Unless Nick Andros did that edit. Let me listen to the lead up to this again.
The third verse, take here. I know a little trick for looking up the old thumbnail the comics made by the author of the Naga video. It's about
That's
NuxTaku
2021.
reviewing the old comics made by the author of the Nagatoro manga. It's a romantic comedy
So that
about the
edition
teacher
was
of
by Nick
Nagatoro,
Andros,
a high
okay.
school
69,000. No big deal, right?
This is far worse than anything I've seen on Twitch. How is this sponsored by Raycon? Wasn't NuxTaku supposed to confront Shadman for this stuff? I thought he was against hedonism and degeneracy. The video was also not age restricted, meaning that he made it visible to his own crowd of children. And the comment section had many children on it. Some of them were asking for NuxTaku to reduce the censorship, and others were asking for the source of these adult comics. When I say children, I'm not just making a blind guess. Many of these children had videos of themselves on their channel. So while NuxTaku was railing against Twitch for letting children see bikini ladies, he was uploading content like this, with thumbnails like this, to a 13+ website.
Which is, again, still mind-blowing to me that they even thought this was a good idea on a 13+ gaming website, by the way.
And nowadays he presents himself as this fighter for God and this opponent of degeneracy and hedonism. This video isn't
That's so insane. Oh fuck. Like that's a loud noise. That's just my PC. How do you do that? How do you... I just don't understand like the mentality of people who do that. Where they just like, oh yeah, your degenerate IRL nudity and my holy hentai. That is insane.
Publicly available anymore, because I tweeted a link to it around the time of the post-Nux Clarity incident. It used to embed on the tweet, but now it no longer does, because within 30 minutes of me tweeting it, the video was set to private. There was no apology or explanation, only an attempt to hide evidence of one's past, which in itself became evidence of a guilty mind. I have never seen anyone post the kind of content NuxTaku did on a regular basis and not get banned. Not only hasn't he been banned, until recently, he was hanging out with massive, well-respected creators. He might be one of the most underlooked
Wait, Anthony Padilla did an interview with him?
and worst cases
Or is that a
of such a
referential?
high-profile creator, profiting from exposing children to adult content, directing them to adult websites, and running their communities with a total disregard for child safety. Nowadays, he pretends that none of this ever happened. He downplays
Oh,
it,
fuck.
lies about it, and deletes evidence of it. Let's start from the beginning. NuxTaku started out as an anime YouTuber in 2015. He grew slowly and steadily, but in late 2019, everything changed. Jeffrey Epstein died in prison. Excuse me, 2 weeks after that.
And I also made a video on YouTube that has since been removed, the biggest flexes in hentai. And the degeneracy began from there.
In the video, NuxTaku reviews and recommends 10 hentai animations, 7 of which were categorized as lolly, meaning they contained underage characters.
And this bad boy, very not chill stepfather, has a very not chill relationship with stepdaughter. Again, most people would think this is weird, but hentai clearly knows better.
He was already showing adult content to a 13+ audience and giving them advice on how to find adult content online.
The reason why I bring it up here is because without putting text
Name of what?
Online.
The reason why I bring it up here is because
Name of adult media. Oh god.
without putting text on the screen is nearly impossible to remember. Therefore, since the plot, and it's a goddamn plot, deep thematic and philosophical undertones here, I believe anyone who wanted to search this bad boy up without said title, because I was a douche for not putting it on screen, would just simply look up time stop hentai. Far easier than... Very understandable. A lot of y'all sent me screenshots on Twitter, link to my Twitter in the description, of the top recommended searches on the hub of prawn. And lo and behold, much to my surprise, WTF fanbase, one of the top hits is Time Stop Hentai. And it's
Can you do that? Like, how did YouTube let him get away with this? I know it's already bad enough by himself that this happened, but like, how did YouTube not take this guy out? Holy fuck.
stayed like that for 3 goddamn days immediately after me uploading
Like,
it.
it's just crazy seeing all the stuff other people will get taken down for. And you see NuxTaku and he's like talking about the absolute wildest shit and it's just seen as totally okay. I mean, he got like through basic like thumbnail censors, but how did nobody report him for this?
My biggest flex is an hentai video. Now that is the biggest flex in hentai.
At the time, these videos earned him a massive amount of attention. The first video got 500,000 views, and its many sequels were even more successful, with the whole series garnering a total of 5 million views. One of them was even sponsored by an adult game platform. Because these videos were far more TOS risky than his usual content, NuxTaku would soon delete them after uploading to avoid moderation consequences.
The greatest plots in
Oh, okay, so that's exactly what happened.
hentai 2! Yes, this video will be deleted soon after uploading for the sake of my channel's survival. But a promise is a promise. So, yippee, here we go. 50,000 likes and the greatest plots in hentai 3 will be out eventually.
In reality, he didn't actually delete them. He set them to private, and at a later date, he set them to unlisted, meaning that anyone with a link could see them. I actually managed to find these videos quite some time ago.
Oh.
I archived them, and NuxTaku
Wait, so if they're just unlisted, then YouTube can still see them.
can tell you the rest. Only one of them remains unlisted. Go check it out. If it has gone private,
Oh.
it confirms that NuxTaku knows about this video. After the success of this hentai video series, it soon became the core focus of Nux's content for years to come. By December 2019, he reached 1 million subscribers. In 2020, he was collaborating with some of the biggest creators on the platform and filming their reactions to adult animations or comics, often involving characters of a questionable age.
There is an asshole door, so it's a woman with her ass out, and this one's like an anal key. And Ash Ketchum is well, at least a young Ash Ketchum seems to be approaching it.
Oh no.
And he uses what's called the fist dash, it seems, to gain entry.
Is this made for you?
Yeah, I think it's gone now.
Hi, you have kibble.
So now he sprayed her with the spray of doom.
Oh no.
Also, yeah, how did he get all these like insanely, relatively large YouTubers to just go along with this as if there's no problem? That's deranged. Sorry, I need to text real quick. Sorry.
No. She's quivering.
Oh my god! What? I didn't experience that, though.
Given his size as a creator, Moist Critical actually appeared in NuxTaku's videos surprisingly frequently. He used to be a part of something NuxTaku called the Hentai Gang, and they would react to various hentai clips together.
Oh god. This is good stuff. We got full color, snuff, guro, torture, amputee. All the wholesome tags.
Sounds good. Let me
That's
see
with Project Melody? Holy shit, dude. You can't be doing that.
that shit.
NuxTaku also deployed a very aggressive clickbait strategy. Showing some bikini ladies wasn't enough. He needed cropped hentai, bestiality, and lolly. Despite having displayed this content in his videos and thumbnails for years, NuxTaku has consistently denied being into it, but he also claims he doesn't believe enjoying it
You just want to hang out?
pedophile.
There are 3 levels here, okay? There's lollies, which I have absolutely nothing against. I don't think anyone has anything against lollies, okay? Like Chibidoki or Megumin from Konosuba or Gura. Nothing has anything against lollies. It's lolly that's the gray zone.
NuxTaku began to signal anti-lolicon sentiments in 2022, causing drama between him and Rev Says Desu.
They couldn't believe the guy who has used lolly-related content in his thumbnails, videos, and the same guy who has openly befriended lolicons, followed and praised lolicons on Twitter, could be making such a statement under glaring hypocrisy.
I don't like Rev, but they are making a sound point.
No,
Have you seen your thumbnail? This thumbnail, lolly likers are pedos. This is in quotes, like it's something I actually said.
It's a pretty reasonable inference of your position based on the content of your tweet.
I did not say this. I didn't even say this a little. Not even a little. And this dude's like, oh, dude, we're going to make this thumbnail. So, dude, when it comes to thumbnails, you can be quiet.
Instead of engaging, NuxTaku acts incredulous that how could someone possibly be saying this?
Then he goes on this whole rant. He's like, dude, you should have your legs broken then because you like lollies. See, you have Gura in the thumbnail. Like, dude.
My cat exploded. In-game. Real-life cat is fine. She's begging for food. She just like mushes her face into it, presses it down. I think she just like, she likes the smell. I know she eats some of it. Oh, Casimir is fine. I'm playing Mugenics while I watch the NuxTaku Takedown video, because I'm not watching 7 hours of Chud. I don't think I can get through that. I'm gonna wait for DK to make an actual, to make a video out of that. Or else I would be up literally forever, I think. Is she just staring at it? Or is she eating? All good. Yeah, one of the weirdest things that's always been odd about the VTuber community, I think, has been their weird acceptance of lolly and lolly paraphernalia. It's like kind of, in a weird way, it's like kind of the culture. And that doesn't mean it's a good thing. It fucking sucks. But it feels like something that's super hard to avoid in like VTubing in general. Because I think it's even stranger because I don't even think it's inherent. Like the first VTuber that I remember is Kazuna AI, who wasn't even a lolly. Then you get to the modern day and it's like almost half of them are, and that's so strange. So you get like Gargura, who's a lolly, but she's fully covered up, so it's like, ah, whatever, who cares? It's still odd. She somehow made it to the Dodger Stadium. I was like, alright, whatever, fuck. And then when she became Saba, that was like the worst ever. That was so odd and strange. I was just like, how the fuck did this happen?
What is going on?
Because with Saba, she's taken it to another level. It's just like creepy and demented. With the whole tummy thing and being barely clothed at all. It's so gross.
What is going on? So, constantly taking me out of context, constantly making me look like a hypocrite for things that I've never been a hypocrite about.
Nux's response to Rev was set to private around the time of the post-Nux Clarity incident. Despite his history, in early 2024, NuxTaku had no problem calling Vosh a pedophile for flashing his lolly horse folder on stream for a couple seconds. Meanwhile, he had his own horse folder on his public YouTube channel. He also forgot to censor the contents of Vosh's folder in his coverage. Old habits die hard, I guess.
I am the one that gets canceled daily for being a gooner on Twitter, by the way. And I have never saved a porn image.
That's a lie detector test.
One of the more shocking images
I feel like that edit goes way too quickly.
Folder depicted a lolicon VTuber that Nux had reacted to.
16 is high school. No! Wait, high schoolers aren't lollies. I agree. Lollies are 1,000-year-old cum vampires. I agree. Yeah, great intro. Everyone, hey everyone, meet Natsuhito Matsuri, extremely wholesome VTuber. Also, she likes talking about lollies. Nothing weird here at all. Oh god, this rabbit hole goes deep.
She just said she's into 10 to 12-year-olds, and Nux does not push back in any serious manner. He then proceeds to react to her content for 20 more minutes.
That was a great video, damn!
Nux clearly had no problem with lolly content, and he was happy to pander to lolicons for years. To return to NuxTaku's thumbnails, I've seen comments under some videos mention him changing them, but that early version has not been captured on the Wayback Machine. In the case of this thumbnail, there are low-resolution captures of the early versions, which depict a woman indulging
Oh my god.
in self-
This thing I know took out Nick Andrus's video for a bit because I think it got age restricted or demonetized or something like that. Because he didn't do enough censorship. Surprisingly, like a NuxTaku's video got through. So what the fuck?
exploration, censored only by this incrementally growing emoji. Whenever these old thumbnails arouse controversy, NuxTaku goes to quietly censor them. He was clearly maximizing the amount of adult content he could show without getting in trouble with YouTube, and he would use various tricks to dodge demonetizations and age restrictions.
The word Shota is blacklisted on YouTube big time. When I made my video talking about the Shota thing, Shota trending on Twitter, I spelled it with a U and it gets past the censors. I took out the U, instantly demonetized. Added in the U, turns green again. Dude, I'm telling you, YouTube is run by idiots. Evil idiots, but idiots nonetheless.
He would use special characters in titles and euphemistically refer to adult content as being cultured or wholesome. If a parent saw a title like, "I showed cultured clips to normie YouTubers" in their child's browser history, it would hardly stand out as a hentai reaction video. Many of these videos originally had far more explicit titles, but NuxTaku has gone back to censor them later. There are also many videos that are no longer available. NuxTaku wasn't only exposing his audience to adult content, he was directing them to it. Leaving the titles of these adult animations visible on screen was not an oversight or an accident.
I love how people ask me for the sauce. I have the title in the screen, people. That's why I don't make them full screen, so you can always find the sauce.
The source, or the source, being the origin of the adult content. Whenever he showed porn in his videos or thumbnails, the comments were full of requests for the source. Some would name the artist or name the individual work. Others would even post direct links, most of which have been automatically deleted. Some of them still remain, linking to an image tagged with lolly and imminent rape, because NuxTaku used it in his thumbnail. NuxTaku would sometimes pin these source posts, encouraging these ecosystems of porn sharing in his comments. He's actually acknowledged this phenomenon in his videos.
Half my comment section in the previous episode of the Hentai Gang was all about, where can I find this door one?
Alright, so...
It really isn't hard to find.
Okay, Charlie.
Yeah, it's super easy to find if you just type in, like...
Very cool, Charlie.
Comes up almost immediately, because I didn't remember the name during the episode. That's all I typed in and found it in almost instant.
Thanks for the instructions on how to find that hentai comic online. As you can see, talking
Deranged.
about, exhibiting,
Absolutely
and directing people to
deranged
adult
people.
media was a core part of Nux's content and the community around it. Now, YouTube is again a 13+ website, just like Twitch. So, NuxTaku was making this content available to minors. But did it appeal to them? You've seen enough of his presentation to know that his audience was hardly above the age of 18. If you're putting on this kind of PewDiePie voice, you're not looking for an adult audience. Given his previous focus on anime, NuxTaku's audience would already trend towards being pretty young, but it wasn't young enough. He would imitate the thumbnail style of channels like Game Theory, which is very popular with children, and make lots of other content trying to attract MatPat's attention. He eventually succeeded and collaborated with not just MatPat, but also PewDiePie and Markiplier.
Really?
Except he didn't. These are just misleading clickbait thumbnails. However,
I mean, to be fair though, he's gotten so many collaborations with other people that if you just told me that, that would be totally believable. I would just believe you that he was able to get those because he seems to be able to get literally everyone else in the world. Ah, that's crazy.
However, if you were a fan of one of these massive channels with very young audiences, and you were tricked into clicking on one of these videos, your recommendations would fill up with stuff like this. This combo of factors that would drive this content to a young audience would not be complete without NuxTaku's favorite rule, that being Rule 34.
And if you're not familiar with the term Rule 34, it's a term and website talking about how if anything exists, there is porn of it.
NuxTaku being obsessed with it is a meme by itself. He was making videos about Pokemon, anime, and other children's IPs while using Rule 34 of them as clickbait, or as the subject of the entire video. The most popular video on his second channel was a reaction to a viral Animal Crossing adult animation with very minimal censorship. There are small blurs around the genital areas, but you could still make out what's going on.
Look. Yeah, I remember that happening. He got criticism for that when that happened, but it was so small. Did that push him? It's not.
What implication? And what's funny
The
about
implication
it? When this
and
animation
then
came out,
the
it became a viral
implication.
meme, and a bunch of kids on TikTok were, as NuxTaku says, doing the things or doing the dance. In other words, publishing media of themselves for anyone in the world to see, in which they are replicating moves from an adult animation they had been exposed to. Very understandably, some people considered this to be a risk to those children's safety.
This is currently the most concerning trend on TikTok.
Is it really the most concerning trend on TikTok? There's literally a trend
There's
right
devious
now called
licks.
devious
People
licks,
are stealing
where
fire alarms. It's like, bro.
people break into schools or are in schools and steal stuff like hand sanitizer and fire alarms and toilet seats. They just rip them off the toilets.
In
That is a
comparison,
trend on
literally, who the fuck cares? I don't even think that's like NuxTaku would like even actually care about that. That feels like he's just fucking deflecting away from how bad his shit is. Maybe he does actually think that they're on par because he doesn't think his stuff is that bad and he doesn't think Devious Licks is that bad, but that just comes across as so fucking deranged.
TikTok right now. But no, this is the most disturbing trend on TikTok. All right, dude.
What's worse? Children being at risk of being exploited, or children stealing toilet seats?
More and more TikTokers have started to recreate that dance, and it's
It is
got people
sus.
concerned.
It is
Basically, a lot of
sus.
people are afraid
That's
that the
the
dance
best
is going
we've
to get
got.
really
It is
popular, and
sus.
kids are going to start coming on the app and doing it and get targeted by predators.
No one's afraid of that. All right, maybe I'm not around TikTok enough, and I don't understand the ecosystem, but I don't think that people are afraid of kids being targeted by predators because they're doing a dance.
okay? Kids are targeted by predators on TikTok for freaking breathing crooked. I don't think this dance is gonna push anyone over the edge, but that's just me.
A child that is publicly self-reporting as having been exposed to adult content is absolutely more likely to be targeted. It means that their internet access is unrestricted and likely unsupervised. They're an easy target.
So if you happen to see any kids on your For You page doing this dance, please nicely encourage them to stop.
Nicely encourage them to stop is just sending hate mobs.
Whoa, dude, he's doing the best he can, okay? This is just another fucking random teenager. Yeah, you should probably, I don't think, what the fuck?
Nicer words.
This guy could be a total grifter in his own right, but nothing about what he's saying
He could be, but he just comes across as like another teenager. Or probably, I don't know, maybe he's like 24.
here should be controversial. It's basic, common sense, internet child safety. But NuxTaku takes it as some existential threat, which makes sense when you think about what he's doing for 2 seconds. He's regularly uploading content sexualizing children's cartoon characters onto a 13+ platform. Characters designed to appeal to children and more likely to be recommended to children. If you look at this video's comments, you see dozens of children explicitly reporting their ages, many of them being under 13. These are not adults pretending to be children as a joke. I've seen
Zone gave me HSD.
what's on their channels. They are uploading videos of themselves onto their channels
Rough.
and then leaving public comments
That's
under
very rough.
NuxTaku's videos for anyone in the world to see. There are thousands of comments like this scattered all over NuxTaku's backlog, some new, some old, but many of them are from children who are still minors. NuxTaku obviously doesn't directly control who watches his videos or what they upload onto their channels, but he was choosing to upload this content onto a 13+ platform where it was available to children. If you make content about sex and porn available to children, you're gonna receive comments about sex and porn from children. If you look at the audience retention graph, you can see that barely anyone is watching this video for NuxTaku's commentary. All of the attention is hyper-focused on the segment where the adult animation is shown. Who do you think is watching it over and over again? Any adult could just go and watch the uncensored animation elsewhere. However, to the children who cannot access adult websites, this is the most easily available and the least censored version of the animation.
What? The fuck? I just got a kick message that somebody wants to stream with me? What the fuck? I actually didn't do that. That was dumb. You joined today. So unless you're a weird burner.
Follow me as soon as I walked away.
No, guys, I would never. We good? Yeah.
This guy bought bots or something?
I can see that. Everyone do follow for follow in chat. What's up, bro? If you guys are streamers in here, everyone do follow for follow. Everyone say follow. Other people do too. Look, everyone say follow for follow.
UWSP. Rip your kick.
Yeah, if you say follow me in chat, people will start to follow you. So everyone just start to spam follow me in chat. People will start to follow you. Everyone follow each other. Look, everyone, look, this could be a great opportunity for everyone to grow together. So if you guys want to grow, just follow each other. Alright, TTS is unfortunately gonna have to go for a little bit. Because right now TTS is crazy.
Here's the thing. Here's just something I'm thinking about that's funny. If you go to Twitch or YouTube and you get a report, you'll get shit like, oh, you know, they're being annoying. You go to Kick and they're like, nah, you can only report us for like serious stuff.
What happened?
I guess that's fair. I would rather report the guy, but that is fucking annoying to have people come in here.
Roll up Johnny is my fucking dog.
Does this guy want to talk about the NuxTaku drama? Tomcats, do you want to talk about the NuxTaku drama with me? Come fucking come in here. I got a message apparently from one of your bots or maybe somebody who literally made an account to fucking watch me. And you?
Slayer 25. Bro, someone said you want to stream with Tifa. Was that you?
Guys, so how is everyone doing though? Is everyone doing good? Is everyone doing good?
Okay, I think I heard a slur in there, so we're gonna go back to the video.
that they can find. Here is a comment from a child saying that they can't access the uncensored animation because of parental controls. This child's parents did not want them to be exposed to this kind of media, but NuxTaku's content enabled it to happen anyway. NuxTaku knows that YouTube doesn't want that content on its platform, and he was actively reverse engineering the site's moderation in order to continue uploading this content without getting age restricted. He was so successful at it that even if you enabled restricted mode and the parental control filters, videos like this would still be visible on his channel. With the same video, where NuxTaku was shitting on this guy for caring too much about child safety, he was contributing to and profiting from all of the issues that the guy was raising awareness of.
Alright, Mr. Noah, I don't know you, and you seem like a decent man. John 3:16, my man. He's a man of the people. This dude, this absolute legend. I didn't even notice that before. Don't quote Bible verses in your bio, dude. What? John 3:16 is, "For God so loved the world that he gave his own forgotten son, that whoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life."
He's doing Bible quotes now, bro. That's crazy. I mean, on one hand, he's Jewish, right? He lives in Jerusalem. There are some very funny jokes to be made about that. But he's like, he's also quoting the Bible? What the fuck? It's this grift that they've started doing. And by they, I mean like a lot of these right-wing people on YouTube, like Tectone, kind of Asmongold. I feel like he's a lot less grifty. He's like gone through a lot of crazy shit in the last couple years, so I kind of understand him going in a more religious direction. Even if I don't like it, even if I think it's a little iffy, I understand it. It's fine. But NuxTaku? Bro, you like lolly. You can't say this shit. You can't be doing this shit. This is just wrong on every level. It's wrong. He's probably like Tectone too, or not Tectone, like Tactical Templar. Who was it? Somebody like was getting Bible quotes from AI, from Chat GPT. God. I forget who that was. So, like, it's just a grift to appeal to another demographic that largely has no crossover, positive or negative, with your existing audience of religious people, while moving away from exclusively anime content and moving into politics and doing right-wing stuff, obviously, because that's who you're appealing to. And I don't know, there's like a lot of weird people online who are like, oh, it's anime, it's like pure Japanesisms, and so I'm right-wing, and it's so weird. Ah, God.
Alright, gamers. Yeah, alright. If I see that in the bio, I'm gonna... Alright, dude.
Fighting for God was not the moneymaker for NuxTaku at the time. The real moneymaker was running Rule 34 tournaments and networking with massive creators.
What I did today is I gathered 8 YouTubers, put them in a tournament bracket format, and had them battle it out, where they each select different fictional characters, and based on the amount of entries they have on Rule 34, they are stronger choices.
Not only are these videos just flagrant celebrations of degeneracy and hedonism.
You know what makes me really uncomfortable about this? Is the fact that we know that Nux is making this video while having a massive erection.
Yes! I mean, no.
They are entirely based around the promotion of an explicit adult website full of adult content of children's characters. The website appreciated the attention and promoted NuxTaku's videos in exchange.
My last video that I used Rule 34, they actually posted my video on the homepage of the website, so in their honor.
Oh my god, dude. He's even getting partnerships with these people, with Rule 34. And he's, is it that anime man or that anime guy, one of those two, who's like partnered with NuxTaku. So fucking gross.
You know,
if you
Delete
want
these
to do
people
these
from the internet.
competitions with your adult friends, that's totally fine. What isn't fine is uploading these competitions onto a 13+ platform, in which you're promoting an adult website full of thousands of images sexualizing children's cartoon characters. Because of its animated nature, hentai is already much less intimidating to children than photographic adult content. If you're also using characters that are designed to appeal to children, are already familiar to children, and are attached to brands that the algorithm will push to children, you are basically maximizing the potential of your content to introduce children to adult media at even younger ages. I have already shown that this was undeniably a function of Nux's content, but I can't say that it was his intent. However, I can demonstrate that it was absolutely undeniable that NuxTaku knew that children were watching his content. The descriptions of his videos used to explicitly label them as PG-13. This disclaimer can even be found on the monkey comic video. That is an explicit admission that NuxTaku was fine with 13-year-olds seeing this stuff. But we can do better. Months before the monkey comic video and the Animal Crossing video, NuxTaku saw one of his child fans with his own eyes. On October 31st of 2020, he requested his audience to email him the most cursed NSFW videos or memes for a chance to win $1,000. No limit on how horrible it is. Despite requesting NSFW content, the announcement does not list a minimum age, so NuxTaku was giving a financial incentive to minors to find the worst NSFW content they could. After a day, he'd already received thousands of submissions. He would review these submissions a month later in a video with Oompaville and Iron Mouse.
I've never even pondered the thought that we could have lolly and guro and bondage all in one thing. That's amazing.
Oh my god.
Among those submissions was a video that one of NuxTaku's child fans had recorded of themselves.
Oh, what? Bro.
I don't even know what that was.
That was some kid just sent you a video of them shitting and then shooting a dog with a Nerf gun.
It would be really funny not to provide the full context.
Oh, what? Bro.
If you're scared of getting sued, this ain't the move.
That was some kid just sent you a video of them shitting and then shooting a dog with a Nerf gun.
Wait, what the fuck?
But I'll do so anyway. It's not CSAM. It's some little boy farting into their phone camera.
Oh my
Then
god.
they shoot at their dog with a Nerf gun. There's no nudity, and you can't even see their face. However, they are clearly a child, and based on the size of their hand, a very young one at that. There's also no sign of NuxTaku getting parental consent to publish this video. So he's published a video of someone's child without consent and mixed it in with a bunch of reactions to Lolly Bondage Guru comics.
Oh my god.
This competition was not a one-time thing. It was a whole series, and the total number of emails they received in the end was around 10,000.
Wait, who received 1,000 emails? Oh wait, that's the submissions for that. Okay.
And the total number of emails they received in the end was around 10,000. Whether he
These are the
intends
same
it
cat.
or not, by
They're literally
showing
the
this
same
video,
cat stat-wise.
NuxTaku is signaling to the children in his audience that they are welcome to participate. In the rest of the series, NuxTaku shows lots of adult websites and links to them fully uncensored. Not only that, there are many instances in these videos where NuxTaku fails to hide the names of the people sending these emails. So he has solicited children to send him porn, and now he's doxing them to his audience. But that's besides the point here. NuxTaku absolutely knew that children were not only watching, but engaging with his content and his community. Did that cause him to reconsider his content decisions? No. A couple months later, he released a Twitch song, then the monkey
What
comic
the
video,
fuck?
and then the Animal Crossing video.
So he's doing this grift while also doing all that. That's insane.
Not only did he not change, he began criticizing Twitch for exposing minors to adult content, despite exposing minors to far worse things. So
one of the funny things is NuxTaku kind of responded to this. Nux would go on to basically just lie. Throughout this entire, like, his entire thing, which was only like 10 minutes long. Stop. Why are you talking? Why are you fucking... He watched, I think, like a few seconds of one of the worst parts and got to like a line that didn't exonerate him at all, but he took it that way and then just decided to run with it. It's like, bro, stop.
It's a rough outline of the mass child mind poisoning.
It was like we're gonna get to a part where there's basically a person in his Discord server. It's probably like some, I don't know. He's obviously ESL. I don't know what part of the world he's from. Europe, SEA, anywhere. And he's like, I'm 15, but I'm lying about my age. And Nux is like, oh, so he's older. Who the fuck? Obviously is lying about being older. He is younger than that. And that's deranged of Nux to just, I don't know, think that way in the first place.
Machine that
it's because he has no good response. It's because he is like so totally completely fucked on this.
NuxTaku operated and made a ton of money from. We have already seen some of the community interactions in the comments of his videos, but that's only scratching the surface. Let's go back to 2019.
So, the announcement portion of this video is as follows. My favorite of PewDiePie's videos are his Luai videos, where he gets to see how his community memes around his own content.
Really? I thought these kind of died. I actually thought that this is one of the reasons why he had a hard time keeping up with T-Series, is because he went through a phase of doing like the most boring repetitive content, because that's what he thought was working. And it was certainly sustainable, bringing in tons of money and views. I do wonder though if this was like a neutral growth period where he was growing just as much as he was losing subscribers, and it just didn't like work out.
Personally,
I mean, he grew a little bit, certainly, but doing it for so long, I don't know.
Love that style video. How the community itself can come together, because it's not just the YouTuber or the YouTuber's content that's enjoyable, but it's the idea of this little community forming. So I am creating a NuxTaku subreddit, which will not be called NuxTaku because someone already made r/.
In another effort to imitate PewDiePie, in 2019, NuxTaku founded his own subreddit, r/NuxTaku submissions. Nowadays, it's a hentai dumping ground, but back then, it was full of memes about anime and children's cartoons.
Hey, stop touching weird places. Don't worry about it. It's flat anyway. Destruction 100. Ho ho ho. Huge roast there. That's like the ultimate hentai logic as well.
But this is NuxTaku we're talking about. So there were also posts about hentai. For several years, the Reddit had no moderation other than NuxTaku. And on one occasion in 2020, the Reddit was spammed full of hentai.
There were thousands made. Tens of thousands of posts of Sakura hentai.
The Reddit was...
Jesus Christ. I guess for people who don't know, because I think maybe Nicandros thinks everybody already does. Sakura is like an 11-year-old in the Naruto show. Holy fuck. I mean, obviously, from that one image we saw, that's obviously the 11-year-old phase.
Nay, tens of thousands of posts of Sakura hentai.
The Reddit was...
That one might not be Sakura. I think that might be a different character. I'm not sure, though, because I didn't read the manga. I didn't know anybody ever did. But there is a period later where I think they're like 18, I want to say. I'm iffy. But there is like a time skip phase. I don't know. That's
also not marked as 18+, and there was no minimum age listed in the rules.
Forgive me, Lord, but I did it. Please forgive me. Stop sending Gentai. Why? I already lost No Nut November. Half of my class saw Aqua's butthole on my screen. To be fair, mad respect for sending Aqua's butthole, and your class should be thankful.
The OP of this post was 12 years old.
To be fair, mad respect for sending Aqua's butthole, and your class should be thankful.
They are literally talking about a class in that post. There is no reason not to assume they might be a minor. And had NuxTaku checked their profile when this screenshot was taken, he would have seen this comment. This child was not a one-time poster. Between October 2019 and August 2020, they made 160 posts to the Reddit. Many of them appear in NuxTaku's videos, sometimes back-to-back. So NuxTaku was profiting from their presence on the Reddit, and the attention he gave to their posts would encourage them to continue engaging with his community. Some of their posts on the Reddit mention depression, some include hentai, and sometimes they would be sharing and requesting the source. In one of their earliest posts, they mentioned having gotten into weird kinky shit. In the comments of that post, they shared a story about having been molested.
Oh my god, dude. And I was like, it's blurred, but it obviously says at 14 years old. Holy shit.
NuxTaku made money from allowing this person to be present in his community. They had multiple very highly upvoted posts that made it into Nux's videos, and he would sometimes show multiple of them back to back in the same video. The only reason I'm comfortable drawing attention to this user is because the account has been abandoned for years. As far as I know, it was never banned. After going through all of their comments and posts, I was unable to find any connections to other social medias, so they should be anonymous. This was also not the only child present in the community. By doing a couple searches, you can find many others openly stating their age. Content creators exploiting the volunteer labor of their audience for content is nothing new, but those spaces have teams of moderators to keep the content age appropriate. When you have a community that includes
that NuxTaku does have, but they don't think that's their job. They essentially think it's the exact opposite.
Minors, you would ideally be proactive and lean on the side of caution. As we can see from this announcement on NuxTaku's Discord from January 2022, moderation-wise, the Reddit was totally unattended for years. It doesn't matter whether NuxTaku knew that dozens of minors were openly posting, sharing, and talking about adult content on his Reddit with adult strangers. As the head of that community, he bears ultimate responsibility for what he allows to happen in it. It was his responsibility to establish rules against this behavior and to enforce them. Even the most basic, common sense rule for an NSFW community was too much to ask. On December 30th of 2021, NuxTaku would launch his Discord server.
That's right, I opened a public Discord server. I swore to myself I would never do it because the degeneracy would be too much and the degeneracy is already too much. So join that Discord.
Oh, so join. I mean, that's a marketing gimmick. He's trying to get people to join. He's trying to make it sound like, oh no, all the degeneracy, oh no. And then it's like, but yeah, you can join.
Server. It's a public server. It's open. 16 or older though, please.
I am happy that he has a minimum age rule this time.
16 or older. I'm just gonna say, doesn't make it seem like he's from a... I don't know. I think America and Canada are like one of the few nations that have a reasonable age of consent of 18. That's odd. That's still very odd.
16 is a massive self-report that he is aware that a large chunk of his audience is underage. It's also highly questionable given his decision to launch the server with a set of NSFW channels, including an NSFW voice channel. To be honest, I was surprised that there were NSFW channels when the server rules said 16 and up, because NSFW is supposed to be 18 and up. I mean,
the internet is basically owned by America, so yeah, everything absolutely needs to be 18 and up, and that's just completely reasonable.
You already watch Nux. Fair. To be clear, those channels were supposed to be only for adults. But given the state of Discord's age verification, setting a channel into NSFW mode doesn't really do anything to stop minors from accessing it. All they have to do is lie about their age to Discord. The channels were fortunately removed 6 days after the server was open to the public. The announcement of their removal does mention issues like minors sneaking in by lying about their age. However, the main reason was that having NSFW channels disqualified the server from Discord partnership. Some users protested. Nux's content already involved a lot of NSFW media, so why not allow people to post it in his community? A staff member responded that the age group of the Billies, that being the name of NuxTaku's fandom, wasn't appropriate for it. So even NuxTaku's Discord staff members knew that a large chunk of his audience were minors. The decision to have NSFW channels on the server was already questionable in the first place, but it becomes even more questionable when you remember that NuxTaku made that predator catfishing video months earlier.
I wanted to make this sort of an educational topic and bring light to an issue that's really big. There's a lot of predators on Discord, like a lot.
There's a lot of predators on Discord, like a lot.
How do you make a video raising awareness of Discord predators, but then set up a Discord server which will facilitate adult conversations between adults and minors? But hey, they deleted the NSFW channels quickly, so the problem is solved,
hidden, right?
Not necessarily. NuxTaku shouted out the Discord on December 28th on his Twitch, and December 30th on YouTube. His audience floods in, there's problems with minors showing up in the NSFW channels, and then they find out that having them at all would disqualify them from Discord partnership. Instead of wiping them out instantly, they announce they'll be deleted in 2 days. Why? So that people can pay their respects to a Discord goon channel? I saw a member of the council mention that the users on the NSFW channels set up their own fan NSFW server, which I have to guess the staff allowed them to promote on those channels. I can't confirm that since those channels are now gone, but I saw one user even in the general channel promoting their own NSFW server. So all of those minors who were lying about their age in the first place and accessing the NSFW channel on Nux's server would just get funneled to that fan server instead. Who was moderating it? Who knows? What age were—
That's a fan server? I mean, that still sucks. It does take a little less responsibility off of Nux, but that's still pretty bad.
Verification standards where they're going to uphold.
Unless I missed
Assuming
something.
the
Did I miss
admins
that?
they'll be deleted in 2 days. Why? So that people can pay
Nux
their
was actually
respects to
running
a
it.
Discord goon channel? I saw a member of the council mention that the users on the NSFW channels set up their own fan NSFW server, which I have to guess the staff allowed them to promote on those channels. I can't confirm
so
that
staff.
since those channels are now gone,
Okay.
but I saw one user
Pretty
even
bad.
in the general channel promoting their own NSFW server. So all of those minors who were lying about their age in the first place and accessing the NSFW channel on Nux's server would just get funneled to that fan server instead. Who was moderating it? Who knows? What age verification standards were they going to uphold? Assuming the admins are not minors themselves, or even worse, adult predators. There's a lot of those on Discord apparently. I'd like to remind you at this point that Ava Chris Tyson's Discord server was private when the NSFW channels were open in 2018. It was closed when the server was open to the public in January 2019. In Tyson's case, the drama was about LavaGS, Nathan, and apparently a handful of other minors being present on the server while it was private. The initial accusations made by Prism42 also included claims of Tyson grooming LavaGS, but no evidence for that was ever found. The Discord just had NSFW content available to minors. By those standards, NuxTaku's Reddit was already way worse, and his Discord way worse 4 years after Tyson's Discord, when there was more of a general awareness of these issues. Tyson's server apparently still had sexual chats or juvenile banter after it went public, but looking at the kinds of terms that were frequently used on Nux's Discord,
Sauce.
there was plenty of that to go around. If NSFW content was now banned from NuxTaku's Discord, how did they handle NuxTaku's NSFW content? If the thumbnails contained NSFW content, the staff members would remove their embeds. Darn Nux using blatantly NSFW thumbnails that stay in the Discord cache after he censors them.
That's insane. That is so insanely irresponsible. One of the things that's gonna come up is that, like, this is a mod. This is like guy. He has a colored name, so it stands out if you scroll past the chat. And so much of this stuff was just happening right in front of NuxTaku's face, and he just did not give a single fuck.
Some users would still post NSFW images from Nux's content or the content of his friends, and the staff, despite reacting to them, wouldn't delete them. God damn it, Nux. We're trying to keep the order. In a recent one, he used a thumbnail from an actual porn video. Ah, okay, so Nux again with the nip slip, I see. This is Pokemon branded Lolly Bestiality in January 2022. According to the Wayback Machine, this thumbnail was left like this for months. This is on par with his idea to make Twitch streamers say the N-word. We removed the embed. Nux is pushing the limits, Lamau. What is he pushing the limits of? The thumbnail of his latest video. Then why he do it non-censored then? That's the big question. Here's a bigger question. If the age group of Nux's audience is too young for his Discord community to have NSFW channels, but most of the people on this server came from Nux's channel, why is the content of that channel too NSFW for the demographic of the Discord? Isn't this massively self-incriminating? Despite having this long history of running communities where minors were exposed to adult content, and that being the very core of his YouTube content for years, in 2024, NuxTaku wasn't only criticizing, but grandstanding over Ava Chris Tyson. He was also putting Lolly Bestiality into his content before and after he was supposed to confront Shadman for drawing Lolly Bestiality on September 30th of 2021. However, NuxTaku's numerous lies about his association with Shadman is something for a different video. There's also the V Shoujo drama to cover, which lots of people think he was in the right about. That is not the case at all, but again, different video. It's a real shame because what I'm going to reveal next is likely going to kill his career. Not to imply what I presented earlier.
It's likely going to kill his career. If only he knew how big of a cockroach all these people are. Just fucking grifting to the right, pretending that it's no big deal, and somehow managing to just survive off of that. It's like unbelievable that that's real. And I was watching Patrician TV today, and he said that he doesn't like a lot of drama that goes into like PDF files or whatever, pedophiles. I don't know what's good with YouTube or not. Seems like you can just say it though. I don't know, people like to err on the side of caution. I kind of do too. Because it's gotten to the point where it's like, these people just should be arrested. Why are they not arrested? Especially whenever it's like such like extreme crazy shit like this where they're exposing
Earlier
minors
isn't
to
already bad
insane
enough,
content.
but this is just beyond forgiveness. You see, there is another NuxTaku Discord server, even older than his subreddit.
Whoa.
I saw an ad for it, which made me very intrigued.
Really help keep my channel afloat. All patrons are invited to the Discord server where we hang out having a great time, and unlike Tumblr, we have an NSFW section.
They not like us.
Welcome to the Nexus, NuxTaku's Patreon Discord, founded in April of 2018. In its current state, the server is almost totally inactive, but the NSFW channel is still here. Despite having an NSFW channel, the server's rules mention nothing about a minimum age, and there is nothing about it being 18 plus on the Patreon side either. What's special about this community is Nux's level of engagement. He wasn't talking to people on his Reddit, and he kept the interactions on the public Discord to a minimum. However, on the Patreon Discord, at least in 2018-2019, he would actually talk to people and even hang out in voice chats with them. Here we can actually see him talking with the artist behind his 2019-era character. The original high-resolution files are here as well.
Has anybody mentioned how much NuxTaku's fucking avatar sucks? I hate his avatar, dude. It's such a bad design. light blue on white, on dark blue, on light blue, on medium in between blue, with medium in between purple, on light blue, on dark blue, on white. Not to mention that it's just like I know, I think it's intentional. It's supposed to be like creepy looking, like it's supposed to look like an anime 16-year-old ghost boy. Dude, fucking get over it. It's so fucking weird.
This one, where Nux is rubbing his hands, has the file name nux_merchant.png.
No way.
Very interesting. The NSFW channel wasn't there from the start. We can trace its creation to this exchange from October 15th, 2018, where we can see this user, who from now on will be called Red, repeatedly asking Nux to create it. If we look at the time and date of these messages, the NSFW channel was made 2 minutes later. In response to this, Red raised their Patreon pledge, and Nux gave them a thumbs up. For a brief moment, let me take you to August of 2024. NuxTaku is finally being pressed about his past content, and he was actually pushed into making a response.
The biggest shock to me to this day entering the broader commentary sphere was the dangers lurking around every corner in regards to children. Children are not safe on the internet. I only became chronically online after high school, but I couldn't imagine what it would do to me if I was in some YouTuber's Discord server at the age of 12 or...
I was just like chronically online, like before high school, just like for fucking ever. And I didn't turn out that fucked up.
14.
You couldn't imagine. You don't need to. Red joined the server on September 7th. On day 1, they openly declared themselves to be 14 years old. They would later claim to be 15 multiple times, but as they openly stated, they were lying about their age. Red was born in 2004. They had turned 14 soon before they joined the server. The Discord was a pretty small clique, and soon enough, basically everyone on the server knew that Red was underage. Despite this, NuxTaku made the NSFW channel for them a month later, and within a year, they had posted 242 messages on the channel. There's also an instance where another user pinged Red into the NSFW channel. As far as I can tell, this behavior was not punished. So a 14-year-old paid NuxTaku money to be on his Patreon Discord server. He made the NSFW channel for them, after which he accepted even more money from them and allowed...
That's absolutely insane. You've gotten in so much trouble already for NSFW stuff. You don't want NSFW stuff. And then on one guy asking, and I believe at this point, okay, maybe not at this point. This is 15th of October, 2018. They haven't said their age. They might have said it though. And you just ignore that, dude. That's how do you make a mistake this
for
big?
over a year before they left the server? But did NuxTaku know that Red was underage? There is no message of Nux acknowledging Red's age. However, it is extremely unlikely that he didn't know. In this conversation from earlier, where Red says they're lying about their age, NuxTaku shows up soon afterwards. In this conversation, there's some kind of an ERP going on in the general chat, which is interrupted by Red. Red is told not to get involved because they're underage. After Red says the conversation is making them gag, another user jokes, "Oh no, we better stop if we are gagging a minor." Red pinged NuxTaku.
Oh my god.
Taku soon afterwards, but Nux didn't show up. This is Mintheus Mouselord, or Mitochondria, or Mito. According to NuxTaku, they were the best poster on the NSFW channel. In this conversation about BDSM, we can see Red asking Mito to send their presentation on sex toys to other users. Note, I just made the presentation because Red was clueless. After Bex mentions having a high tolerance to weirdness, Nux shows up to say, "Proud fanbase." Gremmen asks Mito to send
he absolutely knows. There's no way he can't know about this. Like, unless he literally just posts without reading, which he can't. He's like texting in context of the conversation.
Presentation to Nux. I think that Red already sent it to him. No, I told ya. Never sent it, but I can now. What are we sending me? A sex toy presentation. Why? Lol. We needed to explain sex toys to Red. Nah, it's fine if it's not sent to Nux. Already did, Mito. I'm not doing honest descriptions on all Mito's sex toys. A few minutes later at 2:16, Nux says, Very cool, Maito. Very cool. NuxTaku has now received a direct message from a miner on his server, containing a link to a sex toy presentation that was made for them. What adult is clueless about sex toys? That's a massive red flag that Red is a minor. There was a previous time a month earlier when users in the voice chat text channel begged NuxTaku to join the VC because they needed help explaining sex toys to Red. Again, what adult doesn't know what sex toys are? In this example, NuxTaku declined the invitation to join the VC, but he absolutely was in voice chats with Red multiple times. One of my agents reached out to Red and asked him about their time on the server. They were willing to share their DMs with Nux to show that they did actually send him the sex toy presentation. So that actually happened. It wasn't just a joke. When asked about whether they were ever in voice chats with NuxTaku, Red recalled being in a VC with him plenty of times, couple of times a week. They'd be surprised if Nux didn't notice them being underage, since everyone else did. However, they don't recall Nux ever commenting on their age. Now, I am not a journalist. I'm just a guy on the internet. However, I know you're not supposed to take one person's word and just run with it. Red could be misremembering, they might have some bias for or against NuxTaku, so it's important to have corroborating evidence. On December 15th, 2018, NuxTaku pinged a deleted user to a VC. Red says Nux is in VC, everyone flood, implying they joined the voice channel with Nux. There's a similar message from January 15th, 2019. If we scroll down a bit, we can see a screenshot showing Nux in the VC with Red. The real NuxTaku here is the real NuxTaku. Here's another screenshot from the time.
Even though you guys bully me, I still love all of you. Lol, except Alan.
Same name, same avatar.
That's December 9th,
The current music channel used to be the old voice text channel. And on it, we can sometimes see Red and Nux posting things close to each other that only make sense if they were in the VC at the same time. Here, for example, Nux is working on a thumbnail. There's a message from Red, messages from NuxTaku, and then a message from Red. An hour later, messages from NuxTaku. In this one, we have a message from Red addressing Nux. Later a photo from Nux, then a photo from Red. In this instance, Red asks somebody to join the VC. Another user posts a caked up Charizard. NuxTaku shows a work-in-progress thumbnail. Message from Red, the Charizard from earlier is now on Nux's thumbnail. There's plenty of evidence of Red speaking, having audio issues, and other users commenting about their voice. So it's not like they never talked in the VC. I think this evidence sufficiently corroborates Red's recollection that they were in the VCs with NuxTaku multiple times. I'm not sure about a couple times a week, but certainly multiple times. Red was already behaving in a pretty immature way, even in the text messages. They would spam emojis and walls of text. To believe that NuxTaku didn't know Red's age, you'd have to believe he missed all of the instances when their age was mentioned. You'd have to believe no one told him Red was a minor in chats, VCs, or DMs, and that Nux didn't realize it from their voice when talking to them in VCs. This should already be enough to strongly conclude that NuxTaku knew. But to show the full extent of the evidence and the full extent of NuxTaku's beyond incomprehensible neglect, we need to introduce a new character. After joining the server, Red quickly made friends with another user called Alan Vebus. I know that Alan's avatar here looks an awful lot like Mr. Obvious from my engineer voice, so it's not like they never talked in the VC. I think this evidence sufficiently corroborates Red's recollection that they—
Oh, yeah. I did have a very squeaky voice back in the day, so I'd be surprised if he didn't notice, considering everyone else did, but he never commented on it.
We're in the VCs with NuxTaku multiple times. I'm not sure about a couple times a week, but certainly multiple times. Red was already behaving in a pretty immature way, even in the text messages. They would spam emojis and walls of text. To believe that NuxTaku didn't know Red's age, you'd have to believe he missed all of the instances when their age was mentioned. You'd have to believe no one told him Red was a minor in chats, VCs, or DMs, and that Nux didn't realize it from their voice when talking to them in VCs. This should already be enough to strongly conclude that NuxTaku knew. But to show the full extent of the evidence and the full extent of NuxTaku's beyond incomprehensible neglect, we need to introduce a new character. After joining the server, Red quickly made friends with another user called Alan Vebus. I know that Alan's avatar here looks an awful lot like Mr. Obvious from my engineer video, but they are not the same person. Alan was a small anime creator at the time and would promote his videos on Nux's Discord. The metadata of his channel reveals that he is from Romania, and he would often mention things about it on the server.
Spotted?
There's a lot of conversations between them and NuxTaku on the server, and Nux has mentioned Alan's name 100 times. He even shouted out Alan's channel in a video from October 22nd, 2018.
All patrons are invited to the Discord server, where we do things like make fun of Alan Weebus. If you don't know who Alan Weebus is, oh, trust me, $1 to the Patreon is worth it to meet the guy. He's in a special kind of category where everyone that relates to him in any way is a tsundere, because we all constantly make fun of him and make believe we hate him, but we all low-key like him. And also, thank you, Alan Weebus, for donating $10 on Patreon. So now
I've always found it crazy the shit people are willing to do for like $10 a month. I mean, there is potential. NuxTaku has been going on a long enough time that some of these people have potentially donated thousands of dollars, especially if they were patrons from the beginning and have not cared or even agree with the right-wing grift that he's been going on. It's just absolutely deranged behavior. And like getting to the point where you're like, let's all make fun of this guy, to the point where he's like, just don't build a community like this.
Now I get to shout you out in all my videos. Link to Alan Weebus' channel is actually in the description. He makes funny shiz, and he takes the edge out of edgy, which leaves you just why? Like, why is he making this video? That kind of thing. Anyway, special thanks to King Beat My Meat Sage.
Alan was a very major contributor to the NSFW channel. However, according to Nux, they were still inferior to Mitochondria. He apparently got his material from following more than 300 hentai artists on Twitter. That's only a third of the amount that Takedown was following. Alan has made a lot of claims about their age, including saying that he was as young as 15. Plenty of users, including NuxTaku, have also claimed Alan to be underage. Alan is a lolly, no can do. Alan is underage. Does that mean Nux is grooming Alan? What's going on here? According to Red's recollection, Alan was around 19 at the time. In this tweet, they claim to be 19 in 2019. So, if they're telling the truth here, they would have been 18. Another former member believed Alan to be around 21.
Okay.
According to Red's recollection,
illegal.
no one on the server genuinely believed Alan was underage. These statements about Nux grooming Alan or Nux calling Alan a lolly are simply jokes. Very optically bad jokes, but jokes nonetheless. While I'm not sure about Alan's exact age, they were clearly an adult. Alan has unfortunately deleted their Discord account, which makes it hard to determine which messages are his. But we can still tell if it's him talking thanks to context clues. Here NuxTaku mentions that Megumin from Konosuba is best girl. Alan points out that she is 14 years old. Another deleted user, who I assume is Zach, asks Alan about another character called Taiga. There's two deleted users talking here.
Taiga? Like the YouTuber? Okay. I'm pretty sure I actually know nothing about Taiga.
So how can we tell them apart? Alan must be one of them because their name is mentioned. So this one must be Zach. One of them mentions the age of consent in Romania being 15, so that must be Alan. Zach uses capitalization, while Alan doesn't. That's how we know that it was Alan who said, "Who cares? If she can count, then she ready to mount."
The Hassan clip.
This is Hassan taking more shots at NuxTaku in his week-long feud with me while defending his bro tips past. All right, I never brought up his bro tips past because I felt like it was so long ago it's not worth it. But he's bringing up like random shit from forever ago and warping it into calling me a pedophile for.
Well, the difference is that like Hassan's stuff is like specifically like a gross bro humor show. That's specifically it. He's going off a script. They think that that's what is like enjoyed by the Young Turks audience at the time, or is like opening a market for them. It's still weird, but it's also almost certainly not Hassan Piker's actual opinions. NuxTaku kept all this shit going for nearly 10 years.
for insane reasons. Did you know that in his Bro Tips past, he had a famous quote where he said, if she's old enough to count, she's old enough to mount?
Come back again next week when we discuss the legendary question of all time. Old enough to count, old enough to mount? Question mark?
If that's not pedophile behavior, I don't know what is.
When Hassan said that in 2013, he was playing a character, and he was asking it, not flat out stating it like Alan did. We can see NuxTaku right here not condemning those words at all. So he either used to not care about pedophile behavior, didn't think that it was pedophile behavior, or his attack on Hassan is knowingly deceitful. There's a difference between waifu and best girl. Waifus are mountable, so therefore the best girl isn't. However, the art of the best girl is lolly inclusive. Nux is using that word in the petite anime character sense, not the cartoon CP sense. Nux's stance on personally not being into lolly hentai has been consistent for years.
Wait, so... want to hear that
Or
again.
care about pedophiles knowing all, so therefore the best girl isn't. However, the art of the best girl is lolly inclusive. Nux is using that word in the petite anime character sense, not the cartoon CP sense.
Sorry, that just kind of threw me off. I just didn't expect the nuance. Are they talking about a specific character? They're talking about Asuka. I want... Oh, okay. And that's assumedly Asuka from Evangelion. There are a couple. Saya from Saya no Uta, or Rebecca Scarlet from, I'm assuming, Black Clover. Alright, let me look up these characters. So we have Rebecca Scarlet Black Clover. So that's an anime woman. And then what's the other one? Saya from Saya no Uta. Age 11 to 14. Oh boy. Okay. So in this context, I do think that's a little bit confused.
Nux's stance on personally not being into lolly hentai has been consistent for years, but it didn't stop him from posting it onto YouTube. Then Alan says, lollies are very mountable. NuxTaku responds, you're terrifying, Alan, and moves on. This was 12 days before Nux gave Alan that shout out on his channel, so Alan saying things like this didn't seem to be a problem to him.
And he takes the edge out of edgy.
Look at this art. This art is better, and it's Alan posting a comic about some boy kissing his dog. I wish I would be able to get sick from stuff.
Oh my god. That's nauseating.
Like this again. By the way, don't ask why do I have that. Why do you have that? Red sent it to me. He always sends me fucked up shit like this. That guy's a sociopath, I tell ya. Red shows up and claims Alan is the one who sent it, and shows a screenshot from their DMs. Wow, you resort to Photoshop to make me look bad? Shame. Red shares another screenshot, showing some of Alan's earlier messages. People have no shame, shake my head. Also, I hope someone at school sees you watching this.
What?
Is that Minecraft? Yes, I'm 15. Deal with it. Oof, I feel old. He's literally the young...
Well, they're literally talking in an NSFW server about a video they're presumably watching. And yeah, they just don't care. They just do not give a fuck.
This guy here. I am the youngest? Oh, he is. Makes sense. Yep. Red is 15-year-olds personified. Ha, I'm still underage. So, cause you're talking to me, you are all technically pedophiles. Not me. Yup. Remember, the age of consent in Romania is 15, so I can smack your ass all I want. It's only been 26 minutes since the last time
That's pretty bad. So that means that he does know. Oh.
Alan brought up the Romanian age of consent. Alan would make similarly inappropriate comments about Red on the 16th of December. But let's return to October 8th.
So
you
gross,
are willing to
dude.
say
How is this guy not getting banned? Is that not even across the pale for these fucking moderators? How is this possible, bro?
Send me the most fucking disgusting shit you have. I only send it to you because you're 15. Exactly. Nobody else would. I initially planned to traumatize you because you were acting tough, but I underestimated you. Who, me? I'm not tough. I guess edgy instead of tough. I am edgy. Not that tough though. Yeah, I got that. I need to train you to become tough. Okay. At this point, NuxTaku or the moderators should be intervening and investigating what's happening in the DMs between Alan and Red. However, there wouldn't be any moderators or rules on the server until 2020. In late 2019, the server was raided by gore spammers multiple times, and NuxTaku did nothing about it. What finally made him appoint moderators is when his patrons pulled their pledges. This is one of his own newly appointed moderators saying it at the time.
Oh, so it... Oh, okay, so this is due to a raid? And that caused people to pull out? Really? People pulled out because of a raid?
According to Red, on the first day...
Like, not just out of the Discord, but people pulled out, like, completely of Patreon for a raid? That's odd.
They joined the server, Alan spammed their DMs with a bunch of gore and NSFW content. There are multiple instances of Red or Alan publicly mentioning Alan sending gore to Red. Here's one from October 6th. On October 14th, Alan mentioned showing his personal collection to Red. On January 1st, 2019, Alan actually posted a gore image into the voice chat channel and pinged Red. In February 2019, Red reacted to a meme by saying, I can take pictures of men's penises being cut in half, but this is too much even for me. It was a GIF and just a tip. Yeah, but dramatic effect, Alan. Shake my head. The message below contains nudity, and if we go one message further, we can see a message from NuxTaku. Alan having a fascination with gore seemed to be pretty well known on the server. One regular user made this meme about the various quirks of the other regular members. Alan's comedic summary was, posting extreme mutilation pics. Notice that NuxTaku was pinged on this message. Sending this kind of material to a minor is very harmful and a crime, and it's been going on for 5 months, and NuxTaku has done nothing. Red would sometimes ask Alan to send him things. Send me the most fucked up shit you have. Look for it yourself, fat. I want my friend to know you are worse than the dark web. Soy.
Like, literally, Hitlerosophy. Verlisophy, more like. Oh, so we actually do know their name now. Their, our previous Discord name. Lisophy. Verlisfify. Let me send you something truly disturbing. Blank, I thought you couldn't handle fucked up things. I have one thing. Snaking, apparently the one guy who doesn't hate him, he's an asshole. But then completely unrelated, they're talking about
Yourself.
this shit.
I want my friend to know you are worse than the dark web. Soyboy here is another adult user and also a small anime creator. He already knows that Red is underage. Despite this, he asks Red if he can send them something truly disturbing. Okay, Soy, send it to me. See? Come on. I expected at least nuggets. If you don't know what that word means, don't look it up. Alan proceeds to drop codes to some extremely obscene comics. Thanks, Alan. Soy, I am extremely disappointed. Red, you scare me. That is actual animal rape and murder. I know. How is that not the most fucked up thing? Alan sent me a video of a man getting his head off by a machete. Real life, of course. NuxTaku was pinged about something off topic immediately after that message, but it didn't show up. After getting NuxTaku to create the NSFW channel, Red suggested making a Not Safe for Life channel for Alan, to which Alan said, I wouldn't make NuxTaku watch something like that. You, on the other hand, can get it. NuxTaku's nowhere to be seen, but then Soyboy mentions Toei Animation claiming one of his videos. NuxTaku replies to him with advice, once again showing how close he was to seeing these warning signs. Beyond conditioning Red into tolerating extremely shocking and obscene imagery, Alan also encouraged them to drop out of school. On Tuesday, October 9th, Red mentioned skipping school to binge-watch anime. Alan cheers them on and says that skipping school is badass.
Just to fucking be on Discord all day. That is absurd.
And that he's doing it as well,
play fucking Halo,
because he's a
bro.
badass like Red. On October 10th, NuxTaku pings various users, including Red, to inform them that he finished reading the Black Clover manga all in one day. School got cancelled for the rest of the week for me because the head teacher got so I shall be around lots. Words like head teacher and school are used by children, not college students. Another clear red flag that Red is a minor, right in Nux's face. What? Go to sleep, kid. Another clear indication that Red is a minor. Yeah, lol, 176 chapters in a day. This is 5 days before Red got NuxTaku to create the NSFW channel.
Oh
if you're worried
God.
about that stabbing story, it's something that Red made up at the time.
I'm assuming I made up, he means like fake. Because everything is made up. Although that might be being completely dumb.
Thursday, October 11th, Red mentions having skipped 4 days of school.
Oh, so this person's still active. That looks like an Uma? Is that Sakura Bakushin?
To binge anime. Another user cheers him on. School is a waste of time. On Monday, October 15th, Red thinks about joining a VC because there's a lot of people on. But he says that school starts in 30 minutes. Alan once again encourages Red to skip school. On Thursday, October 18th, Red asks Alan for advice on how to lie to their parents to get out of school. Anyone here a good liar? Alan makes multiple suggestions. On October 30th, Red pinged Alan because he wants to speak to someone that he trusts. Red mentions having the problem of no longer going to school. Alan asks if they quit like a badass mad lad, once again encouraging Red to drop out of school. On December 9th, Violet asks, are you guys students or out of school? Alan says he and Red dropped out. Red says that Alan inspired him. On January 4th, 2019, Red once again says he quit school. He doesn't care about it anymore. On April 10th, 2019, Red described themselves as a 15-year-old dropout. Alan shows up and says, agreed. And
in 2019, so he was probably 14 or 13 in 2018, and then at this point he's 15.
That's coming from an older dropout. So how did Red manage to drop out of school? Let's go to February 2019. Red is talking to Bex, who seems to be having some form of breakdown caused by opiate withdrawals. Many of Beck's messages actually mention them being addicted to drugs, spending all their money on drugs, and having various mental illnesses. Please keep that in mind when passing judgment about what I'm going to show next. I might be overly cautious here because YouTube does not like when certain things are discussed, such as SH. And in this exchange, knowing they're in the presence of a minor, Bex explains how it works and basically makes it sound really cool. Red mentions having used SH to manipulate their parents into letting them quit school. Really? That's impressive. Red expressed that they felt like a terrible person for doing it, how it felt, and they mention only doing it twice, to which Bex says, psh, imagine only doing it twice. I decided to stop before I couldn't. Real sad boys have on their thighs.
Jesus Christ. How do you not just ban the fuck out of these people? Or at least like take them aside and be like, hey, you can't talk at the server anymore, you're like deranged and you need help or something. I don't even know what the right fucking solution to this is. But the moderation in this is so fucking awful. Harmful opinions? Yeah, I'll be watching Harmful Opinions after this. Like, it's so crazy that fucking NuxTaku's Discord is giving off literally like every single red flag a Discord could possibly give off. besides like terrorism. And he's just in this, like, I don't know. I don't want to call it Newgroundsy, but it's like from that time period of just like not giving a fuck. And he's just totally fine with it. It's absurd.
Red then reveals that they built their upper arm a lot of times. Bex comments, "Ooh, nice." Again, this was a very irresponsible way to talk about these things with a minor. I don't have any experience or knowledge of how SH works, but Red claims that this needle stuff apparently happened way before they joined the server, but they claim that it was not enough to cause the effect, which makes SH
the gay Riddler is up next.
Addictive. Based on their comments from back then, there was clearly a unique sensation there, but again, I don't know for sure. Red claimed that the first time they did it for real was on October 31st, 2018. They had a fight with their family, which led to them dropping out. On the day before, Red asked Alan for advice on how to get over their fear of the pain of SH. I'm not sure if Alan is jokingly suggesting that Red should try flipping, as in juggling knives, or if he should try using a folding knife, and he used the word flipping by mistake. Red seemed to interpret it as a suggestion for a type of knife, and asks if he could use a kitchen knife. If you cut yourself, you'll realize the pain is pretty whatever. Okay, thanks. You're welcome. If we scroll down a bit, we can see the exchange where Red asked Alan to talk.
Does little blank have little teeny weeny problems? So it's kind of like Yeet, and I'm trying to do online schooling. So they immediately drop out. Like, as soon as they enter the Discord server. This is, I believe, like, what, 5 days after? And they're no longer going to school. Did you get kicked out, or did you quit? Yeah.
About the problem of no longer going to school. They hadn't actually dropped out yet. That would happen soon after the 31st, when the SH first occurred. Red would eventually develop an addiction to it.
So this is just like an extremely, like, depressed kid. Who's like obviously having like huge life troubles, and like, I'm gonna join a server with like-minded anime fellows, and they all just fucking prey on him immediately. Holy shit.
In February 2019, we can see Red mention that he talks to the least people in real life on the server. I have talked to 3 different people in real life in the last month. 5 months after joining the server, they've dropped out of school, they are self-harming, and they've become socially isolated. Despite Alan constantly behaving in an inappropriate, abusive, and downright criminal manner towards Red perceived him as trustworthy. Red saw Alan as a good friend, bestest friend, and the reason why they haven't committed.
So Alan is like the guy who's like fucking encouraging SH and sending him crazy fucked up shit. It is like, he's my best friend.
We have already established that the odds that NuxTaku didn't know that Red was a minor are super low. The further we looked, the more examples we saw of messages that must have been in NuxTaku's line of sight that would indicate to any reasonable person that Red is a minor, or that Alan is sending some weird stuff to him. NuxTaku was also familiar with Alan. They've talked a lot, he's mentioned him lots of times, they hung out in VCs, and he gave Alan a shout out on his channel. But did NuxTaku know about the other part of Alan's reputation? Check this out. On January 16th of 2019, Alan posted a bait and switch video into the general chat channel. The thumbnail shows a naked woman, but when the video is played, it switches to a video containing stuff like this. Despite the warnings given by other members to not look at it, Red can be seen giving their reaction to the video. You can take that as a corroboration for my testimony of what the video is.
It's just some fisting, but it gets worse.
Violet said that Alan should be banned. NuxTaku was then pinged because Alan did something bad. Nux shows up and says, "Wow, didn't see that one coming," and he then leaves. He took no action. He didn't delete the video or punish Alan or anything. Again, that was January of 2019. NuxTaku would still have Alan on the Rant Cafe podcast in July and August.
And Next, we also, believe it or not, have Alan Weebus himself.
Hi there. Sorry, I'm the replacement for Animac Forever. He's dead now. I killed him. So you're gonna have to get accustomed to my presence from now on.
Despite everything that was happening for months, NuxTaku publicly endorsed this guy and presented
Not from that angle, Baka Scuba Diver Coon.
him to his audience as this harmless, funny troll guy. When I
Yeah, this is extremely absurd. I just don't get it, dude.
last read about these old messages concerning their personal situation at the time, they said it was the beginning of probably the darkest period in their life. The good news is that they stopped self-harming in 2021. They went into a dropout rehabilitation program, and they are now working on their university degree. To clarify some things, I reached out to Red because I saw their post on the Discord from years ago. They didn't reach out to me, no one tipped me off about them, I discovered them myself. I haven't conducted any in-depth interview with this person. I would just send them questions every now and then, and laid out this timeline and ask.
I'm gonna give you a summary. Agent ends, that's Nicandros. Should I get a drink? My throat is starting to hurt. I'm gonna grab a quick drink before going through this, because that is a fuckload of text. I'm actually a little worried. Okay. I'm gonna give a summary of my findings here based on just the messages. I don't know what happened in the VCs or DMs or the other servers, but you joined the Discord on September 7th, 2018. On October 6th, you mentioned Alan sending you messages of, wow, okay, I'm just gonna say live leak if it sounds like crazy bad. October 8th, he claims you sent him a comic of a guy kissing a dog. You can test it and show a screenshot showing he's the one who sent it. Later on, you mentioned him sending you the most fucked up shit imaginable, despite you being 15. Would you say you respect, Alan says he only sends them to you because you're 15. Okay, that's extremely fucked up. Okay. And you say that you respect that. There are multiple other mentions of Alan sending you things after that point. October 19th, you skip school, which Alan cheers and calls badass. October 11th, you mentioned having skipped school for 4 days. Another user comments, good man, school is for people who have yet to learn what truly matters in life, which I assume is anime and manga and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I guess that, yeah, whatever. 15th, Alan asked you to join a VC, but you said you have school in 30 minutes. Alan then encouraged you to skip school again. You asked Alan for lies you can tell your parents in order to skip school, and he gives you ideas. On the 30th, you talked about your school with Alan, and Alan said dropping out is a badass thing to do. You mentioned that Alan inspired you to drop out of school. That was December 9th. December 12th, you said that high school is gay, and that's why you dropped out. January 4th of 2019, you said I quit school and I don't give a shit about that stuff. And April 10th, 2019, you described yourself as a 15-year-old dropout. When you joined the server, you were in high school but clearly had some issues, and just based on what I can see now, when you brought these things up, adult users on the server encouraged you to drop out. On February 10th, 2019, you said I talked to the least people in real life here. I've talked to 3 people in real life in the last month. Really? It's kind of fucked up. Only 3 people. Regarding the self-harming, on October 30th, 2018, you asked Alan for advice on how to live leak. What kind of knife to use? He recommended using a flip knife, and you asked yourself if a big kitchen knife was appropriate. Oh my god. He's probably thinking of like a butterfly knife. Alan said, if you blank, you'll realize the pain is whatever. You thanked him in advance. Alan replies, you're welcome. On the 28th, you mentioned blank to manipulate your parents into letting you quit school. That comments that that's impressive. Talks about how It makes emotional pains go away and adds plus the endorphins are insane and mentions being addicted to it. You mentioned it makes your head feel good when you reveal that you only did it twice. Beck goes, imagine doing it twice. Before Beck adds, real sad boys have blank on their thighs. You mentioned that you decided to stop before you couldn't. You then said my upper arm is covered in tiny dots that look like a rash because I used to stick a needle in. Beck replies, ooh, nice. Despite Alan encouraging you to do harmful things to yourself, you would occasionally mention him being your best friend. Someone you trust, and in one instance said Alan is the reason you haven't committed game end. It seems like from the moment you join the server, it's having a detrimental impact on your life. Jump 5 months forward from the September to February, and you're out of school, isolated, and SH. Things which the members encouraged, advised, and were indifferent about you doing. I want to make sure that I'm telling an accurate story here, so obviously correct things if you see any problems. You can tell that basically everyone on the servers had serious personal issues they were dealing with. I'm not out to paint any of them as villains. While that is respectable in its own right, I feel like these people are very much villains. Hey mom, can I quit school? Yeah. I don't know. There it is. I didn't want to go to school. I wasn't doing this. Yeah, this is insane. That's just absurd.
For their thoughts.
I mean, he nailed. He wraps it up all there. I'm surprised he hasn't said it, but yeah, it seems like almost every single member was encouraging him to do some crazy shit like this.
He described it with the words, all of that is accurate to my knowledge. They don't remember anyone on the server really recommending them to seek help. When I asked about how they felt about Alan's behavior, they recognized that it was inappropriate towards a 14-year-old, but they don't believe he had any sexual grooming intention or meant what he was doing in that manner. They also mentioned Alan being very troubled at the time, which, based on Alan's messages, assuming he isn't lying, seems to be true. Based on the logs I've shown, it's tempting to conclude that the influences that Red was exposed to through NuxTaku's unmoderated Patreon Discord server led to them dropping out of school at age 14 and getting into SH. The timeline laid out by the messages and by Red's testimony does support the idea, but to actually determine if that's the underlying reality would require further investigation. However, regardless of the actual consequences, allowing people to encourage or praise this kind of behavior in the first place is already insane. What is clear is that Red was repeatedly exposed to extremely obscene NSFW content and gore on the server, and that NuxTaku made the NSFW channel because Red requested it, and then accepted more money from them. If NuxTaku was too big...
That's insane. Like, the evidence is right there that you need to ban this fucking guy, and Nux is just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Actually, he's giving me money, so why would I ban him? Why would I ban this guy that obviously needs to be fucking banned?
Easy to moderate the server properly. It's not like he was totally unfamiliar with the concept of moderators. If he was, the 16th message on his Discord server was a user recommending him to designate moderators, to which Nux responded, indeed. One of the basic responsibilities of a Discord server operator is to make sure that children are not exposed to adult content on their server. By allowing Red on the server and allowing them to be exposed to all of these harmful influences, based on my estimation, NuxTaku made $46. Not only did he fail to carry out that basic responsibility, he made money from neglecting it, something which would eventually become a core element of his success. If you remember, the Chris Tyson server closed its NSFW channel in January 2019, before the server went public. NuxTaku's Patreon NSFW channel is still open in 2026. There is no age verification process, and anyone with $1 can join in. The channel hasn't had a new post since 2024, but it was still active when NuxTaku was casting judgment on Ava Tyson. It's probably good to point out that NuxTaku and Ava Tyson were both born in 1996. Tyson in July and NuxTaku in February. NuxTaku is a few months older than Tyson, but he was making demonstrably worse mistakes at the same age, and continued to make those mistakes for years afterwards. There is no evidence for Tyson ever grooming anyone on the server, but her career was still destroyed by the controversy, something which NuxTaku cheered on. And with that, I conclude the first part of our dive into NuxTaku's history. In the next part, I'll show the dishonest ways in which he has defended his past content to his new religious right-wing audience. An audience that he has attracted by saying stuff like this.
Banning our books! They're firing! They're not banning your books. They just don't want them in schools teaching children and grouping them. There's a big difference between banning books and not wanting to show sexualized, pornographic, group material to kids. There's a big difference, actually. This dude is like, I cannot believe they are banning our porn from the schools. All I want to do is show sissy, hypno, transgender porn to 7-year-olds, and society does not let me. All right, so you have the interracial gay couple. Those move. Raising a kid. For your 2 biggest fans. And this is a boy in a tiara and a skirt. I'm telling you, it's grooming. It's so obviously grooming. It's so obviously grooming, man.
Dear students growing up with free thoughts and with critical thinking and not being indoctrinated into their beliefs. That's the biggest fear of fashion.
That scrap saved me.
You literally have a pedophile flag on your
Yes!
Should we be surprised that a company whose name is literally American Eagle...
Sorry, I got way too focused on the game. But yeah, he has had this insane right-wing grift. I actually don't even think this is the worst of it.
And this
I think
is
this
like,
is supposed to be like a highlight
like
reel of... Let me see what Nick Andrews says it's supposed to be.
An audience that he has attracted by saying stuff like this.
Oh, well, sure, yeah. I feel like there's probably way worse stuff that he
in
said.
your background, and you're wearing a nose ring. What are we talking about?
Because a lot of it is shitting on Hassan, but also buddying up with Asmongold and Tectone. But that's what the intro was, had the Tectone stuff. I would probably hit the nail again here at the end about that. About his, like, association and hanging out with all these people. Because it's just, like... They are all helping each other, especially behind the scenes. And in front of the scenes, too. Asmongold is not giving as harsh a condemnation as he should. Tectone is just outright defending him. And it's just... insane. I cannot believe that it's all happening.
Why would anyone ever take you seriously?
It's gonna be fun. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video if you enjoyed it. Oh, and of course, congratulations on your 30th birthday, NuxTaku.
He's 30? Jesus.
See you later.
I believe people had an issue with this. Oh, okay. Because it's like, oh, you're doxing him, you're releasing PII. When his birthday is publicly available on his, like, anime review site. Okay, so let's take that down. So Harmful Opinions ended up covering some of the responses. Here we go.
If you haven't seen it already, Nicandros just murdered NuxTaku. You know, NuxTaku, Roseanne Barr's favorite VTuber. You should go watch it yourself. For real, actually go watch it. I will pin a comment with the link and put it in the description as well. The video is 1 hour and 20 minutes long though, which means many won't make it to the end. If you're one of these people, I'd like to encourage you to have some patience. Merely saying it's worth your time probably isn't enough to convince you, however, so I'll quickly give you an idea of just how bad things really are. You have 3 seconds to stop this video and go watch before I talk about what's laid out in the finale of Nicandros' video. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Nicandros very solidly lays out the case that NuxTaku took money from someone he knew was a minor.
Yeah, absolutely.
In return for opening a not safe for work channel in his Patreon-linked Discord server and giving the kid access. On the same Discord server, the minor was provided with some kind of sex toy presentation by other members, and it's clear Nux was aware of.
He was presented with a shitload of stuff that should never have been fucking around him. I guess that is one of the many things that he was presented with.
This. In fact, Nicandros shows that he was in there talking with them about it. Nicandros provides evidence that NuxTaku had voice chatted with this young person multiple times, and he also shares an overwhelming mountain of evidence that any reasonable person in NuxTaku's position would have had no doubt that this person was not an adult. real death touch material. I'm not going to show you here because I want you to go watch Nicandros' video. The nuclear stuff's at the end, but the build-up is important. NuxTaku is shown to be a soulless reptile who is clearly missing pieces. And worse, which we'll talk about momentarily. Again, link in description and pinned comment. If you're aware of the Chris Tyson Discord stuff, I believe this was actually happening around the same time.
Yep.
And I'd say NuxTaku and what was happening in his server is worse. Real sicko shit, even including users encouraging the miner in question to hurt themselves. The last half hour or so of Nicandros' video is genuinely sickening. This is not just something that can be swatted away by saying parents should have looked after their kids better, because he had a direct hand in causing it and directly profited.
Yeah, that's another thing. He had interactions with the person, he took their money. The kid was obviously manipulating the shit out of his parents to basically do whatever he wanted because he was extremely troubled from the sounds of it. And this all just was let go.
Granted, less than $100, and hopefully he'll soon feel that it wasn't worth it. Let me present a fun hypothetical. You open your kid's bedroom door, and to your surprise, some creep is in there with them, showing them porn and letting his friends mess with them. He looks at your shocked expression and says, "Well, it's not my fault. You should never have let them within my reach." Do you respond, "Damn, fair point, you're right," and walk away? Or do you cave his skull in with a brick? Personally, I'm on board with the latter. It seems, though, that the NuxTaku Defense Force would pick option A. If someone grooms a kid, is that the parents' fault or the groomers? It's mostly the parents' fault, and I'm tired of pretending like it isn't. If you watched your kids online, they wouldn't have the chance to be groomed or, I don't know, stumble across horrible...
This is such cope. Like, sure, parents probably should play a bit more of a role in their kids' lives. I don't think anyone disagrees with that. There does seem to be a lot of, like, situations where stuff like this just gets ignored when it goes on for long periods of time. But if you look at Red, it was literally, like, a jump within 4 months. Really, like, 1 month for the worst of it. And not only that, but parents really, like... this is extremely personal, individual... like unit-based stuff. It is extremely difficult for parents to monitor every single thing their kid is doing. And it's also not as if kids don't actively try to hide stuff from their parents. That's extremely common. I had fucking report cards from my parents. It was super fucking easy. They have their own lives and they can't really, like, 100% of the time be bothered to do absolutely everything. Being a parent is hard. They don't need this extra shit of all the horrible things on the internet.
Horrible materials. Jesus Christ. So look, you can say parents need to look after their kids better, but that only makes sense as a defense if someone is taking reasonable precautions and a kid sneaks in anyway somehow. That's the kind of thing you say to someone who's trying to ban all adult content online because a kid might see it. However, as Nicandros lays out very clearly in his video, NuxTaku was actively undermining parents' ability to protect their children. And it is in fact people like him who are why governments can justify intrusion and censorship. His content strategy and his own direct behavior with minors was adversarial to a parent's ability to protect them. This isn't kids can sneak onto adult content so ban adult content. This is an underage audience was targeted with content designed to bypass any measures to protect them. They were funneled into a more private space, and then one of them, with Nux's obvious knowledge that they were a minor, had a not safe for work channel created.
Dude, that's exactly what I did. Like, I would get to the mail because I was like failing English class. I failed English class for one of my 4 high school years. And to prevent my parents from, they would send it in the mail rather than giving it to me because they noticed that my parents weren't receiving it. So I just got to the mail first, and then I would just throw it in the trash immediately. The biggest moral thing I had with that in my own mind was like, fuck, does the report card go to in the recycling or the trash?
Did for them. NuxTaku functioned as an active threat not just something kids might stumble across. With an adult content website or something like that, you can say, I should be able to have that. Reasonable measures have been taken to prevent kids getting on. The rest of the burden is on parents. With the shit Nux was up to, you can't say that. There was no reason for him to have existed, and there is no justification for his behavior. Please watch Nicandros's video, the whole thing, because all of it matters. It is a crucifixion. This is not the kind of thing where you can say, oh, I disavow my past, I was a bit silly. No. It is made blindingly clear what kind of a man NuxTaku is. I mean, for God's sake, there's a guy in there that Nicandro shows was an adult, was shouted out by NuxTaku.
He even shouted out Alan's channel in a video from October 22nd, 2018.
All patrons are invited to the Discord server, where we do things like make fun of Alan Weebus. If you don't know who Alan Weebus is, oh, trust me, $1 to the Patreon is worth it to meet the guy.
Specifically encourage people to come meet this guy, and the kid I've been telling you about did join and did meet the guy, and once there, the kid would be encouraged to skip school to voice chat.
On Monday, October 15th, Red thinks about joining a VC because there's a lot of people on, but he says that school starts in 30 minutes. Alan once again encourages Red to skip school.
This guy who Nux shouted out and bigged up was giving a kid in that server advice on how to lie to his parents.
On Thursday, October 18th, Red asks Alan for advice on how to lie to their parents to get out of school. Anyone here a good liar? Alan makes multiple suggestions. On October 30th, Red pinged Alan because he wants to speak to someone that he trusts. Red mentions having the problem of no longer going to school. Alan asks if they quit like a badass mad lad, once again encouraging Red to drop out of school. On December 9th, Violet asks, are you guys students or out of school? Alan says he and Red dropped out. Red says that Alan inspired him. On January 4th, 2019, Red once again says he quit school. He doesn't care about it anymore. On April 10th, 2019, Red described themselves as a 15-year-old dropout. Alan shows up and says, agree.
That's crazy. I can't even imagine dropping out at 15. That's like, what do you even do? You are so fucked at that point. You don't, like, that adds so much difficulty, even just to getting, like, a GED. Like, that guy got fucked up by this server.
And that's coming from an older dropout.
Yeah, young audience, come meet this guy. Come somewhere more private. Give me money and you can hang out with him. And this Alan fellow was sharing more than just advice. He was sharing pictures.
Look at this art. This art is better. And it's Alan posting a comic about some boy kissing his dog. I wish I would be able to get sick from stuff like this again. By the way, don't ask why do I have that. Why do you have that? Red sent it to me. He always sends me fucked up shit like this. That guy's a sociopath, I tell ya. Red shows up and claims Alan is the one who sent it, and shows a screenshot from their DMs. Wow, you resort to Photoshop to make me look bad? Shame. Red shares another screenshot, showing some of Alan's earlier messages. People have no shame, shake my head. Also, I hope someone at school sees you watching this.
Just a little reminder.
Yeah, that's his end goal, is to drop out of school to talk to NuxTaku of all people.
Because I want to hammer this into your skull. This isn't just, oh, a bad guy got into my server, I can't control and check everything.
If you don't know who Alan Weebus is, oh, trust me, $1 to the Patreon is worth it to meet the guy.
According to Red, on the first day they joined the server, Alan spammed their DMs with a bunch of gore and NSFW content. There are multiple instances of Red or Alan publicly mentioning Alan sending gore to Red. Here's one from October 6th. On October 14th, Alan mentioned showing his personal collection to Red. On January 1st, 2019, Alan actually posted a gore image into the voice chat channel and pinged Red.
Wait, I missed that. That's in the... That didn't get taken down, and that's in, like, one of the public channels? Holy fuck. No way, that's like a live leak image. I didn't read that when I was going through. Allahu Akbar jigsaw puzzle. Can you put Uncle Ahmed back together? Holy fuck, dude. I know that he's done this right-wing grift now, but how does this get posted when he... This is like peak Friends with Mutahar era, isn't it? Holy shit, dude. Is that not racist towards him? I mean, Mudahar probably doesn't give a fuck. But that's just insane to be posting, like, at all. Honestly, at least due to staying out of society, if that's your goal in life, I can't imagine that there is much use there. What I imagine happened is that this guy, Red, was like just extremely troubled by default. Like he had a lot of problems in school probably, or at least problems with his parents because he manipulated the fuck out of them. Probably suffering from some form of mental disorder like depression or something along those lines. And then joined a server where they just like endorsed all of his worst aspects. And I think all of those obstacles are very easily crossed until you drop, or not easily. They're not, it's very difficult to cross those, but they're crossable. And then you drop out of high school at 15. That's probably hard to get back into. If I don't know, maybe it's not. Maybe it's easier just to like re-enroll. But you've got to be super fucked up after that, and there's got to be so much social stigma coming back to school from that. Especially if you start to have scars everywhere.
February 2019, Red reacted to a meme by saying, "I can take pictures of men's penises being cut in half, but this is too much even for me. It was a GIF and just a tip. Yeah, but dramatic effect, Alan." Shake my head. The message below contains nudity, and if we go one message further, we can see a message from NuxTaku.
The eagle-eyed amongst you, by the way, will have noticed something. Sometimes Alan is happy to say that he's older, but when he's discussing behaving inappropriately with the minor, he tries to give the impression that they're the same age. A classic move if you've seen people like this operate before. By the way, if somehow it turns out that this Alan guy was also a kid, it almost gets worse for Nux, or at least is just as bad.
If you don't know who Alan Weebus is, oh, trust me, $1 to the Patreon is worth it to meet the guy.
Go watch Nicandros's video. It is a complete package that needs its full runtime. I've held back on details here and held back from showing too much because I don't want you to think you know what's up just from listening to this. Unless you've watched that video, you don't. Any defense, any explanation, any rationalization or minimization is torn to shreds by it,
totally.
Unless you ignore or deliberately omit elements. There's a reason what Nicandros is doing is taking so long. And even being privy to little bits and pieces he shared with me before, and even having myself talked about how much of a freak I think this guy is before, I did not realize how bad it was. Even if you don't care about it directly and you're just one of these, well, I don't want government stepping in and restricting stuff. If you're one of those guys, this guy's your top enemy. This guy and people like him are exactly how you end up with that. The problem is scum, not the people identifying scum. You don't get to say, parents should protect their children, when you are what they need to be protected from.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I don't know. It's unbelievable. I just think that Nicandros's video is so fucking good that it's hard to like add to it. It's just like, get this guy out of here, dude. Arrest this man already. I don't know where he lives. I think he lives in Israel. There's got to be some laws against this. And isn't he originally Canadian? Can they extradite and arrest him?
It really is. It's like, oh, a guy got groomed in a Discord, which is fucking awful. Don't get me wrong, and I'm really sorry if I contributed to that at all. It's really fucking awful. But I really didn't contribute to that much at all.
Much at all.
Much at all.
Amazing. The strategy of admitting to a crumb of grooming. Everyone deserves that as a treat, right? Now and then, so long as you're not involved in much, apparently. He also decided to use the defense I said in my last video would make him look like a massive pedophile.
Someone entered a Discord and lied about their age.
That is an incredible half-truth. They did lie about their age. In the server, they repeatedly said they were 15 when they were actually 14. That doesn't help you, Nux, and we'll look at that more closely later.
And someone else in the Discord, in one of my servers over the years, and someone messaged that guy lewd stuff.
That's a half-truth. That did happen, but that happening was also openly discussed in your server, and comments like this were also openly made towards him, acknowledging his age. I'm not going to read it out, so if you're listening in the background, tab in for a second.
Which is awful. But yeah, unfortunately, parents need to make sure that their kids aren't logging into 18+ servers.
Jesus.
You know?
That's true. They do. However, why do they need to do that? It's not just because of creeps like that guy. It's because of people like you. Because even though it was blindingly obvious, and any reasonable person would have known that this guy was a kid, even without explicit statements of age, Nux made a not safe for work room at his request.
The NSFW channel wasn't there from the start. We can trace its creation to this exchange from October 15th, 2018, where we can see this user, who from now on will be called Red, repeatedly asking Nux to create it. If we look at the time and date of these messages, the NSFW channel was made 2 minutes later. In response to this, Red raised their Patreon pledge, and Nux gave them a thumbs up.
I don't know where else has this, but certainly in the UK, sometimes you'll stop at a service station, a rest stop, and there'll be a gaming section, which is a gambling section, and it will have a little barrier that says 18+ only. If a kid walks in there, is some creep showing them like a porn mag or something cool because the parents shouldn't have let that happen? Like, you'd be fine with that guy. It's not about him. Okay, dude, face the wall. However, Nux decided to make a more substantial response. It's buried about 20 minutes into a video, and he simultaneously claims that Nicandros' video is bullshit, and that he hasn't seen it.
Now, the reason why this came up is because recently someone made a hit piece on me, and it was an hour and a half long, so I didn't watch it, I'll be honest, but I did see some of the clips that were floating around.
Let's take a look at a few of the things he said in defense.
I think it's relatively fair. A hit piece implies that a lot of the stuff is untrue or like maligned in a way to be, I don't know, disingenuous in how it's presented, but I really feel like there is nothing but truth in fucking Nicandros' video. Like, he provides evidence so well that it's hard to, like, say anything against it. Like, in a way that's not, like... I'm sure maybe there are problems in it. I didn't see it. But it's so fucking well evidenced, and to not give any contraction to it besides like watching it and then like getting scared off because you realize he's telling the truth, that's so fucked up. That's like one of the biggest things that these people do, like Tectone as well. And then I might not get to it tonight because we're 20 past midnight. There's that leaflet person who's spawned out of nowhere, and big problem in the VTuber community apparently, because I found out that fucking everyone is following her. This like brainlet retard VTuber is defending NuxTaku also without watching the video, and also making it like AI videos sucking off Asmongold. It's insane. What like delirium has the fucking right-wing community, the YouTuber anime right-wing community? What does it have? This is insane. I can't believe that this is real.
Defense of himself.
There is a note here saying absolutely nothing from minors, by the way. No personal nudes, no content of minors, content depicting the minors, content made by minors, none of that shit. All right, just to be clear.
Yeah, good job, Nux. You banned CP. Yeah, of course. Not what you're being accused of. But did you notice what's also shown on screen? The definition of content that's allowed, which includes stuff you shouldn't show to your parents. Certainly a good idea not to show your parents that stuff. Given what we know and have concrete evidence on about the user base, takes on a bit of a different tone. Next up, we have what I believe is the very worst part of his response.
You couldn't imagine. You don't need to.
All right.
Red joined the server on September 7th. On day 1, they openly declared themselves to be 14 years old.
I didn't know about this.
Sure you didn't, buddy. And when you talked to the kid in voice chat, which you did multiple times, I'm sure they sounded very mature for their age.
They would later claim to be 15 multiple times, but as they
I didn't know about this.
openly stated, they were lying about their age. Red was
So they were lying about their age.
born in 2000.
They lied about their age. Got him, Nux. Nicandros doesn't finish the sentence. That's where the clip cuts off, but we can hear him say, born in 2000 and... Quick maths, Nux. If this person was born in 2000 and something, and the stuff in the server occurred in 2018, what's the oldest they could have been? NuxTaku just showed us that this kid was underage, and that the lie about their age was that they were 15 rather than 14, and tried to use that as a defense of himself. See, they lied about their age. That's your defense when they say they're 18, not when they tell you they're a kid. And they are a kid. He then shows off his intense retardation once again.
Yeah, so, look, man, I don't know how a minor even got into this Discord server, because as I'm sure he mentioned this in the longer video, I'm not trying to say that he tried to slander me on purpose over here, but this was a Patreon server. For those of you that are unaware, Patreon servers are inherently 18 plus.
That is totally false, and the proof of that is on screen.
Because if you want to become a patron, if you want to join a creator's membership as a patron, or provide membership as a creator, you must be at least 18 years old.
Keep reading, Squid Boy.
Or have permission from parent or guardian.
In other words, it's not inherently 18 plus at all. For some reason, he doesn't read any more of that page, despite showing it on screen. This supposedly inherently 18 plus platform goes on to state, as we welcome people over the age of 13, we employ stricter measures to ensure their safety that ultimately translates to a zero-tolerance policy for sexualizing underage individuals on Patreon. That's a reassurance to parents that it's safe. Why didn't Nux read that part?
All right, quite literally, that obviously didn't happen. This was inherently an 18 plus Discord server.
As we've shown, absolutely untrue.
So if someone lied or stole their mom's credit card, or their mom let their kid join a Discord server from a guy that was making more, adult-focused content on my YouTube channel, that is the parents' fault.
And just like that, Nux defended all grooming on Discord. You see, Discord and pretty much every service has the same policy. If a policy like this means that anything that occurs when they allow their child to make an account is their fault, everyone's off the hook. Nice, Nux. Great argument. I agree that parents need to be more careful, but that's not the same as a green light to do whatever you want with a kid. Well, I wouldn't have been able to make a not safe for work channel specifically for this obvious child if you hadn't let them in my grasp.
That is insane. But it's like, fuck off. That's totally true. The problem now is getting someone bigger to cover it. The issue is that, because NuxTaku just is not going to respond, and I think the video did not do as well as the Mudahar video, although it's only been out for like a week. And the problem is that NuxTaku is like the Epstein of YouTube, because he has all these fucking people watching their own, like, fuck, I don't even know the word, just degenerate fucking hentai, and watching it in YouTube videos with them, like Turkey Tom and Charlie and so many other people. It's like, do they want to go against him? Because they knew what he was doing. They watched it. They were like a part of it, and they just participated. And so it's like, will they make a video? And I don't think so. I think NuxTaku is just going to keep streaming and keep doing his thing, unfortunately. Mudahar, ironically, despite it being worse and probably getting more hate for it, did something I think that's like far less bad, even though he also participated a bit in the NuxTaku stuff.
Isn't particularly compelling to me.
Just to be clear, again, I'm really sorry if any bad thing happened to any person in any of my servers. Obviously, that's disgusting and horrible. However, it was an 18 plus server.
Utterly false. His defense actually boils down to, if you think about it, But the parents consented.
That's one. And two, also important to mention, this not safe for work tab that ended up, this channel, this not safe for work channel, which again, I regret. I don't think I should have ever done that. That was definitely a mistake on my part. I'm not trying to say it wasn't, but 2018, 8 years ago.
Yeah, same age as the Chris Tyson stuff. What is 8 years the cutoff? 8 years and then it's all cool? The Chris Tyson stuff was bad because it was 5 years ago when you were talking about it?
I guess, didn't think about it clearly enough. This server was removed, this channel with the not safe for work thing was removed really quickly after it was made.
Yeah, but what about the other two servers that did have NSFW?
I think, if I remember correctly.
The guy did a cartoon panic gulp.
I think. And even more importantly, this also had an age verification. This also had an age verification. You needed to click that you were 18 plus to join this channel in the server. All right?
Care to try and prove that, Nux? And anyway, why would you need to do that? You already told us it was inherently 18 plus. And here's the thing. He's already lied about that channel. He says it was deleted very quickly, right? Nicandro shared a copy of your server with me. That channel was being used in 2024. Why would I believe anything else you say about it? I'm a nice guy, though. I decided to check for circumstantial evidence. And while I couldn't find proof that it was restricted from the start, it does appear to have been restricted at some point. Based on, for instance, a discussion from 2020. A user called Scrubsicle is able to post in the Not Safe for Work channel, and people are surprised. Users say they're proud of Scrub, and call them Sneaky Scrub. Someone asks why Scrub can't post there, and another user answers age. There's a guy on the server who goes by My Dude, and he appears to be a top mod or something. He's the one who wrote the server's rules as of 2020. And he shows up in this discussion of bypassing the age gate to say, if she entered a fake age into Discord, we'll take no responsibility. Another fellow responds, oof, good job, how everyone tends to do it. Smiling sans. And she can be seen posting in there 20 days later. So it does appear that at some point an age gate was added, though when it was brought to moderators' attention that it was being bypassed, appropriate actions were not taken. Something else I found while looking for evidence of an age gate. Do you remember how Nux proudly defended himself with the channel's rules? Specifically,
there is a note here saying absolutely nothing from minors, by the way. No personal nudes, no content of minors, content depicting the minors, content made by minors, none of that shit. All right, just to be clear.
Turns out, actually, these weren't the rules when the kid was there. The mod posted a rules update in 2020.
So the original rules, we don't know.
A month later, another person says, just want to update you all that we improved the Not Safe for Work rules slightly to what should be common sense, namely the Not Allowed section. What common sense rules were those? Well, a user discusses these changes shortly after. But back on the real topic at hand and to speak directly. Legal lollies aren't allowed. To be clear, children are not to be posted. Even the no personal pics rule that he pointed out, that wasn't there.
Would turn.
You can see people discussing it being added. It was apparently users who had to push for that when it, quote, became a problem. NuxTaku is defending himself with server rules that didn't exist at the time the bad stuff happened. In fact, they weren't added until 2 years after. In the channel he says was quickly deleted after it was made. I'm losing track. What in his defense of himself isn't a lie? I think the odds are pretty good that there wasn't an age gate when that channel was first made, 2 minutes after the kid requested it.
Well, even then, I don't think there was ever like a real age gate. From the sounds of everything. There just didn't seem to be any I don't know, any restriction at all ever on this shit. Just makes it all that much worse, I guess.
Thought you were just a reckless, spineless, soulless freak. Now I'm starting to have worse suspicions. You cannot argue that someone who is spewing total bullshit about what happened has grown and changed. He only became more cautious. He's not a different person.
Oh, let's not start watching that. The most hated VTuber. Wait, what? There was a 1 million view video on fucking NuxTaku almost a year ago? No.
So I've become so...
What the fuck did I do? Okay, wait. I'm gonna turn off the screen while I fix whatever the fuck happened. Can I close in right view?
So I've become somewhat of a scholar in VTubers as of recently. Don't worry, it was completely involuntary. I wouldn't condone the
This
knowledge
guy sounds like Budget Toastify.
I've absorbed being put on anyone else. But since their first conception in 2016 and later popularity.
Okay, if I close that and then open a new tab.
So I've become somewhat of a scholar in VTubers as of recently. Don't worry, it was completely involuntary. I wouldn't condone the knowledge I've absorbed being put on anyone else. But since their first conception in 2016 and later popularity in 2019 to 2020, which has carried it all the way to he collaborated with many content creators doing the same niche he was, that at the time held a lot of...
Dude, I had no idea this video was ever made. What the fuck? Okay, what if we sort by newest? 3 days ago? Oh my god, what is with all this fucking anti-Semitism?
Influence on the platform.
That he got my real name and phone.
Inspiring other people to do the same. But VShojo knew about it. Even one of the members was in the Discord with the cybersecurity team and Nux. And once again, they thanked him and even provided an official statement at the end of the video.
Drama?
But it appears the VShojo talent were not informed. Do again around the same time against another YouTuber and VTuber called Rev, where they got into a whole kerfuffle and made a video, which a bunch of hate was sent to Nux. Slightly, on the other side, people say they are depictions of children, and if you sexualize them, you are a sting.
Okay, we might give this a watch later. This might go more into the Chris Tyson stuff. It looks like he covers the Shadman stuff. Some of the Mutahar.
Putting up a blind spot too, and I'm not using that as an excuse. I really shouldn't have done that collaboration, and I really shouldn't have watched that content, and if any way contributed to normalizing it.
And he went on to say he didn't know about Nux's content, and he was naive to some of the things he took part in.
Wait, you should have more in those videos?
But in this video, he was basically taking accountability for this.
And then later,
the logic mentioned. Okay. Not relevant for what I'm doing right now. So let's see, that's his Discord mods, his babysitter mods. Then we have Leaflet. Okay, I might call it here. Because... Wait, they posted real kids? Okay, I do want to listen to that.
I'm starting to get burnt out looking at this stuff, but there is simply so much stuff that is so easy to find so fast that I keep stumbling across enough to make a video with. Starting with a brief update, just a few days ago, people were still able to join NuxTaku's Patreon Discord. You did that by pledging just $1, and then you could click the join link from the membership benefits page after linking your Discord to your Patreon account. Now the server is still there, but if you're not already in and you want to join and check these things yourself, you will now be greeted with this when you click the join link. Could be a bug, could be a glitch, who knows why this is suddenly happening, but until and unless that changes, anyone who's not already in can only look through one of the archives that have been taken of the server.
Okay.
If you don't know what server I'm talking about, for the millionth time, I will say, watch Nicandros' video. I will not be providing a full summary. These are updates, bonuses. What you do need to know, though, is that NuxTaku defended himself against Nicandros' video, in which a mountain of abhorrent shit was shown to have occurred in his Patreon server. Nux argued that
This was inherently an 18+ Discord server.
and so everything that occurred in there is just the parents' fault. The kids never should have been in their defense. In fact, he expresses shock that any even got in.
So, look, man, I don't know how a minor even got into this Discord server.
And as the only admin and mod from the start of the server in 2018 until late 2019 when he started appointing other mods, he apparently didn't notice any of the people saying they were kids, despite being active in many of the conversations where it happened.
On day one, they openly declared themselves to be 14 years old.
I didn't know about this.
Look at that kid saying he's 14. How many minutes and how many messages away do you think we have to go to see a message from Nux? As JStalk on Twitter pointed out, 2 minutes and 7 messages.
NuxTaku is accused of running a Patreon Discord where a 14-year-old was groomed, not by him, but in front of him, and dropping out of high school and self-harming. They were exposed to explicit content on his Discord and DMs with members of the server.
I didn't know about this.
A few people have tried to defend Nux
I
against
wouldn't
my
be
last video
surprised
by
if this
saying
video got
he said
taken
it
down
was 18 plus. Who knows when the period it was 18 plus was? Nope. His argument is
This was inherently an 18 plus Discord server.
he's lying and wrong, but he says he believes it was an 18 plus server because of the Patreon connection, which means Nux is claiming it was always 18 plus, and that is essential to his defense of himself. But today, like in the last video, we're going to talk about the mods he appointed. The people he's essentially thrown under the bus with his statement that it was 18 plus and it's shocking that there were kids in there.
So, look, man, I don't know how a minor even got into this Discord server.
We covered 2 last time. We're going to cover 2 more. Shout out to Gibbs of Twitter and Kiwi Farms for doing some digging and highlighting some interesting messages. He censored usernames. I don't believe that's necessary, as the people involved are no longer minors, and I don't believe a Patreon Discord is a place where you have a reasonable expectation of privacy. Until a few days ago, anyone could get in for $1. If Red from Nicandros' video comes up, I will paint him red, so you know who he is. In my last video about this, I showed you 2 people talking to minors and acknowledging their age who were later made mods by NuxTaku in a server he is now trying to say was inherently 18 plus, and that he was shocked to learn there were kids. How'd they get in? One of these mods left his community around 2020, and another still serves as a mod today in both his Patreon and public server. Today we're going to look at 2 more mods with similar stories. You never get whipped, Scrub, lol, says Vinny Bag of Donuts. Digging still? I don't. I child, says Scrub. Exactly, says Vinny Bag of Donuts. You're too young to be subjected to Vince-level roasts, lol. Scrub replies, I only know 2 people in this server younger than me. How old are you? Asks Lainey. 17, says Scrubsicle. Vinny responds, I'm 21. Lainey says she's 22, and then Jen says she's 24, and Vince responds to all of them. Sweet. Still can't use not safe for work chat, says Scrub. A few messages later, Lainey says, there's a not safe for work chat? Yee, says Vinny. Yes, says Scrubsicle. I used to be able to use it. Vince responds, it's got boobs in it, lol. As I've shown previously, that's true. She was in there, and one of the mods merely washed his hands of that, despite being informed that underage shenanigans were afoot. Now,
yeah, why would you ever? Just why ever?
About 4 months after what I've shown you, one of the mods I showed you in the last video, Bex, the one who absolutely knew and acknowledged that Red was a kid and had the year prior interacted with Red in the Not Safe for Work channel that Nux made for him, the one who'd used that kid for emotional support, the one who shortly before being made a mod by Nux claimed that Nux knew her, the one who in 2018 would show Nux a picture of her tattoo and get a flirtatious winky response before showing the rest of the server. You know, if you've watched Nicandros' video, she's this mod.
Overly cautious here because YouTube does not like when certain things are discussed, such as SH. And in this exchange, knowing they're in the presence of a minor, Bex explains how it works and basically makes it sound really cool. Red mentions having used SH to manipulate their parents into letting them quit school. Really? That's impressive. Red expressed that they felt like a terrible person for doing it, how it felt, and they mention only doing it twice, to which Bex says, psh, imagine only doing it twice. I decided to stop before I couldn't. Real sad boys have on their thighs. Red then reveals that they put their upper arm a lot of times. Bex comments, ooh, nice.
Anyway, back on track. 4 months after that conversation I showed you where Vince was made aware that someone was underage and that there were multiple other minors in the server, he was chosen as the replacement for Bex when she wanted to leave, and he was given that role after she vouched for him, saying that she knows him in real life. Personally, given what I've seen of this chick, I would use her endorsement as a who not to mod recommendation.
Yeah.
But he was modded, and to this day retains a staff role on NuxTaku's public Discord, despite his activity dropping off in 2022. I'd say at the very least he's a huge improvement over Bex, but let's move on to the next mod I want to talk about. Bob. Much like Vince, to this day, Bob has the staff role on NuxTaku's public Discord. And like Vince, his activity fell off in 2022. It seems they both stopped enjoying Nux's content. And, just like Vince, he can be seen talking to minors about their age in the Patreon Discord. Let me read you something from the Patreon server's general chat. Ahaha, I'm 15, says Kare. Mr. Chaotic says something unrelated and then Kare continues, I'm the youngest here. Someone called me a baby once. Mr. Chaotic responds, "Oh, only 15? Small person, lol." Deleted user says, "Oh yes, The 13-year-old left. Hehe. Skedaddle says, "You are a baby." Deleted user says, "You're the BB." Kari responds, "Lanybug called me a baby. Honestly, I don't mind. I'd give her a hug." Mr. Chaotic and deleted user yap about something else. "Bob, kill me," says Kari, and deleted user responds, "No, I'll hug you." No kill. We can infer from this that in that conversation the deleted user is Bob. But Bob has an account. You can go into Nux's public Discord right now and see it. Well, a few days after telling a 15-year-old in Nux's Patreon server that he'd hug her, his new account joins the server. "What happened to your old profile?" asks Vince. Bob responds, "Disabled by Discord for being in a OnlyFans server that broke TOS." So there being a deleted user that people are referring to as Bob makes sense. Bob's account was banned. By the way, back then in 2020, Bob was 24. And in my opinion, this guy is out of his fucking mind. Because he can be seen in there posting a photo of a very young group of children he looked after. To be crystal clear, it is a clean photo, the kind of thing you could post on Facebook. It is a bunch of kids watching some kind of influencer on the TV. Regardless, I will not be sharing it here. NuxTaku.
That does seem insane. What? How is that allowed? Just straight up posting like real life kids? What the fuck? Seriously?
Given what you've said about this server and how you've described it, and what we all know was going on in that general chat, what the fuck is your mod doing in there posting pictures of other people's children? Vince, another mod, responded to say how cute they were. So why are, at this point, multiple of your mods in there sharing pictures of and discussing how cute other people's tiny children are? Reminder, both of these people have the staff role on NuxTaku's public Discord right now.
So, look, man, I don't know how a minor even got into this Discord server.
Here's an answer. Your mods were posting pictures of them. Can you imagine finding out the guy you trusted to look after your kids had posted them in the, quote, inherently 18 plus Patreon Discord of NuxTaku, where he's a mod, to show him to all his weird gooner buddies? Really imagine it. You find out about this, and then you go look at the server, and you see all that we know is in there, alongside a nice pic of your tiny kids. If NuxTaku would like to know how to find this post, I will tell him directly. I have followed him on Twitter, if that works. I'll also show him, if he likes, where this freak mod of his said he has a name for the kids group, inspired by Nux.
What?
Is it still just the parents' fault when the person they've entrusted their kids to in real life is a mod for you, and he decides to post photos of them into your
18 plus Discord?
Holy shit. What the fuck? I feel like this entire video just hit me at once. Oh my god. And dude, this guy needs to be arrested for like maliciously retarded handling of this Discord server. For allowing all this bullshit. This is illegal. This has got to be illegal. I gotta listen to the last few minutes.
"I'll hug you." No kill. We can infer from this that in that conversation the deleted user is Bob. But Bob has an account. You can go into Nux's public Discord right now and see it. Well, a few days after telling a 15-year-old in Nux's Patreon server that he'd hug her, his new account joins the server. "What happened to your old profile?" asks Vince. Bob responds, "Disabled by Discord for being in a OnlyFans server that broke TOS." So there being a deleted user that people are referring to as Bob makes sense. Bob's account was banned. By the way, back then in 2020, Bob was 24. And in my opinion, this guy is out of his fucking mind. Because he can be seen in there posting a photo of a very young group of children he looked after. To be crystal clear.
Holy shit, dude.
It is a clean photo, the kind of thing you could post on Facebook. It is a bunch of kids watching some kind of influencer on the TV. Regardless, I will not be sharing it here. NuxTaku, given what you've said about this server and how you've described it, and what we all know was going on in that general chat, what the fuck is your mod doing in there posting pictures of other people's children? Vince, another mod, responded to say how cute they were. So why are, at this point, multiple of your mods in there sharing pictures of and discussing how cute other people's tiny children are? Reminder, both of these people have the staff role on NuxTaku's public Discord right now.
So, look, man, I don't know how a minor even got into this Discord server.
Here's an answer. Your mods were posting pictures of them. Can you imagine finding out the guy you trusted to look after your kids had posted them in the, quote, inherently 18 plus Patreon Discord of NuxTaku, where he's a mod, to show him to all his weird gooner buddies? Really imagine it. You find out about this, and then you go look at the server, and you see all that we know.
Dude, just like sue, arrest that person immediately.
Who's in there, alongside a nice pic of your tiny kids.
Can we find that person and like tell him that this shit happened?
Directly. I have followed him on Twitter, if that works. I'll also show him, if he likes, where this freak mod of his said he has a name for the kids group, inspired by Nux. Is it still just the parents' fault when the person they've entrusted their kids to in real life is a mod for you, and he decides to post photos of them into your
18 plus Discord server?
Maybe you and yours just find this to be totally normal though, in which case, not much more I can do.
Holy shit, dude. Sorry, I probably cut through the tension a bit too hard with that, ending the day. NuxTaku is just like maliciously retarded. He is just allowing grooming to happen. He is taking like a 100th of the precautionary measures he needs to take, and apparently he's modding the worst people. He's giving extra privileges to the predators. Holy fuck. And he's getting rich off of it. He's getting extra Patreon money. A tighter knit community and everything positive for it. Oh my god. Well, that's a negative thing to end the night on. Holy shit. I don't think I have it in me to keep covering anything else. I'm just like, dude, just arrest it. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's like a, what else could you say? It's literally just like, yeah, this guy's like, he's not a pedophile. I don't think Nux is a pedophile. He probably does. He's coming close, but he's not. But he's certainly enabling the fuck out of it. Wow. We will have to find out if this is illegal in Israel and report him to, I don't know, what's the Israeli thing? Hezbollah? Hezbollah, get this guy. That's the tiny man who smashes cats, right? Jesus Christ. Dude, this is such a fucking crazy I don't even know the right words. It's like completely perpendicular to the other drama at the moment of like, oh, you know, two friends are having a spat, two drama friends are having a spat, and it's like, yeah, this guy's like he's just enabling dozens of pedophiles to prey on his Discord while simultaneously making content primarily aimed at teenagers. Wow. Holy fuck. I don't know what else to say. I feel like I'm just like dead in the head from this. I'm a zombie. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna leave it there. I don't know. I feel like I need a palate cleanser. I feel like I need something else. This is awful. This is the worst. YouTube Epstein in so many ways. But yeah, I'll end it. I cannot think of anything else. So I will be back soon, I guess. I can't even say have a good night. This was terrible. This was blackpilling. Good night. Jesus Christ.